The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 14, spread picks, terrible super locks, terrible free money teasers, and game previews. Folks, it is all here. If you want to get into a draw for 60 DK dollars, 60 DK bucks, and I'll be drawing multiple winners of this one, so you may want to get into it, by the way, especially if you're not already subscribed to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, because step one is subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. Download them episodes that are there. You listen to it, after you download it, then you listen to it, then you just erase it, and you download it again. Twice as many downloads. That's what we need at this point of the season. We're going for 15 million downloads for the calendar year. We just got over 10 million last year. We're going to get close to 15 million. I'd like to get over that 15 million number. I'm not going to lie to you. So you download them, you subscribe, you leave a 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show, and boom, you're in that draw for 60 DK dollars. Other ways to get in the draw for the video: smash the like button for the episode, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, and give me your favorite spread or total of the week. The other ways that you can get in, and people have stopped doing this, although I specifically asked for people not to do this, but please continue to leave the time codes of your favorite moments in the episode. It will help me gather and make a best of for the year. It's that simple. So leave those with your DraftKings handle. You can be in a draw for 20 DK bucks as well. Also, if you have topics for a Christmas Day Cust Corner, it has to be Christmas or winter related, I suppose, leave those in the comment section as well with your DraftKings handle after smashing the like button, and you too will be in a draw for 20 DK bucks. I'm the holiday season. I'm generous. I'm giving away money. Geoff Fienberg's here.
I'm breathing.
Yeah, you're alive. People didn't know if you would be or not.
No, listen. I don't really want to do this here.
We're not doing this here.
But I don't know. Loss, like,
I'm
season was
not
over.
concerned
I don't
about
care.
that. I was going to say that Dan Bailey missed an extra point to give you -1 and bounce you out of it. Mike is working? That's good to know.
As Paul pointed out, it's worse that he got there and then it got taken away. If that makes any sense. I got to the 7-point threshold.
Listen, I don't like having kickers as a part of your...
I agree.
But I do appreciate a minus if you miss one.
As anyone knows, this is my home league, the big money, the friends, the pride. Someone's like, you should like prop bet like Dan Bailey under something. And I'm like, I don't put a measly couple $100 is gonna do anything for like home league best friend pride. And don't think my group chat didn't like explode. It lit up. Like the humor of it. Pat humor, as we call it. No pun intended.
What do you use for your group chat?
WhatsApp.
Okay.
Legends.
Oh, we tried to get Tim. We tried to get Tim to download WhatsApp. Huge fail.
It is. Like you said, every single one of us would be fired. Everything would, all our lives would end. It'd be worse than like seeing browser history if you like got into the group chats.
I feel like that's pretty uniform across the board for most people, and whatever the group chat may be.
Like, there's a circle of trust also within our group chat.
Yeah,
so we'll like say anything, and
like our group chat with Tim, where it's well known that we might just screenshot whatever Tim says and put it out publicly.
And like as I always joke,
but
like,
Tim is the one who's like he's not going to say anything bad in the group chat.
Even
he's just
like
going to say crazy things.
Pre-Facebook, like I would always joke, like, no, the group chat of like the 11 of us is my Facebook, but like it's super exclusive.
So Geoff is here. Paul is behind.
What a bad couple fucking beats, though.
No, not great. Paul is behind the camera. You can follow Paul on Twitter at PaulShag. He is the resident Bill fan of the show. We have the coin. The coin had been winning for 2 straight weeks. Did not have a good week last week. And the 5th member of the show who gave up his precious Sam Darnold to get fucked by the Cincinnati Bengals, it is Tim Endicott.
Tim and Cust.
I don't, that's not my name, and I don't want to talk about that game really all that much. That's in the past.
You're not here to talk about the past?
No, I said I'm like Mark McGuire at that Senate hearing. I'm not here to talk about the past.
I thought that was it was Paul Mayo who pointed and said, "I did not do the drugs," and then he did.
When he did.
Someone.
I was going to say to your earlier point, like that group chats, their circle of trust. I was going to say, like, you consistently tweet out the various things
Okay.
that are said in group chats I'm in. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
but you don't say anything bad in the
Yeah.
group chats.
Tim doesn't go
No,
there.
I'm
Tim
just
doesn't
saying-
even have those, like, I know exactly what you're referring to and what he's referring to. Yours are like his generic custy takes.
Yeah, Tim is not Rick James. He is not a habitual line stepper. Most people in group chats are.
It's true. I'm not.
Paul coming in with the hot adjustment. Hey,
Sorry.
there's Paul. Fixing you up,
I
Geoff.
would have, someone needs to literally timeline and like date stamp his entire jet.
Oh, I have most of
roller
them.
coaster.
Yeah, so the Pat Mayo experience at gmail.com. If everyone has like a timeline of Tim clips, I will release. If someone sends me all of the clips and the time codes from the videos, not the podcast, the videos, I will do a supercut of Tim Best of the Jets 2019.
I don't think there's any purchase for that. And
No,
B,
people would not be interested. Why the hell do you think someone left a 1-star review on the show? And they were just like, I lost money listening to this show. 1 star. What are you doing following picks from this show? People honestly tune in to hear you two losers complain about your teams.
No,
well,
I'm
we are
okay.
here to perform funerals this week.
I'm
so,
not, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's just now time to bury the dead and move on.
You gotta light the dead on fire. That's how they don't come back.
And when he missed that extra point last night, Geoff, I felt so awful for you because I knew what it was going to mean for you. And it was the second worst Monday night bad beat I'd ever seen since the time Pat Mayo missed the playoffs because the Rams had 1 million points.
Which game is this?
It was a Monday night game, and all they had left. I was winning by like 19 points going into Monday night, and all they had left was a defense. I believe it was Seattle defense, whoever had them, and they scored like 2 touchdowns, had 7 sacks. I lost by like 15 points.
I don't blame Dan Bailey. As I told you, I blame whoever's responsible for not giving Hunter Henry the ball. 10 measlies, 3 looks.
Bet you
Puta
wish
madre, bendejo.
you miss Wiz and Hunt now.
The Wiz, he's the Wiz.
It's the exact same. The numbers are literally the exact same.
Let's get to the recap of last week. Geoff, you and I are 1 game apart in the overall standings, and guess what? We both went 8-8.
I swear to God, 3 straight weeks, maybe 4, I have been literally 500 on the week.
And you've been winning the early slate and losing it
I
all
went
back.
3-0 on Thanksgiving, bro.
Yeah, Tim and I should have an extra win because you got lucky with that Detroit line.
Shit happens. Water finds its level here with the weird stuff in the lines. But yeah, anytime the quarterback, those are big swings.
Tim won the week at 9-7. He's now.
And I went 0-3 on Thanksgiving.
That's true. He did. He had a good Sunday. So 96-92 for me, 95-93 for you. Tim at 9-7 from last week is now 88-100. The century marked him in losses. The coin regressed a little bit. I brought the coin on Thanksgiving to watch the games. It watched too many of the games. Got a bit too high and mighty. It has to go back to not watching the games.
We started talking about the coin catching Tim.
Yeah.
He took
Well,
a big
the coin
step.
can still catch Tim. It's 6. The coin was 6-10 last week. 81-107 for the year. Only 7 games back of Tim. We've seen more than 7 games be delivered in a week. I think the coin beat Tim by 7 games last week. So it can happen. Not likely, but can happen. I lost my super lock because I am fucking terrible at super locks this year. Stupid Indy, man. Indy just every time I bet Indy or pick Indy, it goes the other way.
What happened? I was being a father and a husband on Sunday morning because just a lot of things are happening. What happened with that line? Like, that game steamed hard.
It got down to like 1, didn't it? Was that 2.5 got down to 1?
It got one the other side.
No, it still ended up -1 Indy.
That's not what I saw, but okay.
So
we shall move on.
I'm 4-8 on the super lock. Geoff, you remain in the lead at 6-5. I believe you pushed 2 or 3 games.
I have.
And Tim back to 500 with San Francisco, 6-6. Tim's free money teasers, the heater, the Thanksgiving heater, Geoff, ended at 1. He is now 1-13 on teasers for the year.
It's not really a heater. I mean, it's not even back to back.
Yeah, but usually when he gets 1 correct, it's officially a heater.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I would have won if it hadn't been for the Redskins this week. That's just the way it works sometimes.
I mean, every week it's one team that screws you. So that's why you shouldn't put like 6 teams on a teaser.
Yeah, well,
It's okay. My group chat also has a guy that can't bet a single game for his life, like forbids to, but will spend all Sunday night showing pictures of his like 5 for 6 parlays. Like
That he didn't win.
yeah, shocker, man. Like didn't go 6 of 6. Football.
See, what he should really do is just bet all 6 of those games individually.
That's what
and be a winner.
Yeah, and that's what I say. You bet those games, and then you make a little side sprinkle parlay. Like if that's what you want to do, if you feel like you got one in you.
what about betting 45 of the exact same 2 games on a pro line over and over and over again?
That is something our friend does.
Oh, so he can cash it at the store and not have to go to the other
I
location.
believe so.
And he runs it through like 30 times at max bet.
Well, now he could just scan it, or
Yeah, he didn't know, he's like, also, despite running his own business, somehow he doesn't know what Cyber Monday is, and he doesn't know how to use technology. It's kind of strange. He's a lot like Tim in that way. Probably why they're friends. I don't know. Let's get to the games. Thursday, Dallas at Chicago. Chicago, 3-point dog at home. 43 is the over-under. Tim, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Why is Dallas getting so much respect on the road?
I think it's, again, you have to pay money to bet Dallas because people love Dallas, and people think the Bears are worse than the Bears are. People think the Bears are the team that scored 7 points a couple weeks ago against the Rams and seem to have forgotten they've won the last couple of weeks. This game should be Bears -1. It's right now Cowboys by 3, so the value is on the Bears. We take them. I think that the defense should be able to stifle what the Cowboys want to do. And we haven't seen Dallas play well against a good team all season. I mean, I guess they hung around with the Patriots, but that game was never really in doubt, I didn't think. And I don't think they're going to, even though this is a weird Thursday night game where they're on full rest, both teams are on full rest in this game. So you can treat it like a Sunday or a Monday game. I don't think there's any advantage to the Cowboys to the degree that they should be 3-point favorites. So Chicago's on a short list. I hate picking Thursday night games for Superlocks, but Chicago's on a short list here.
I agree with you. I'm going to take Chicago as well. I do think that there is value on them. I guess the 3-point, the reason I wouldn't super lock them in is Trubisky, because Trubisky can throw them out of this game.
Sure. I understand that.
And Dak's not going to do that. Well, he's unlikely to do that. Geoff, you're quiet.
a lot. Yeah. I was alone with the 2 kids last night. My wife's away, so it was
You're zoned out.
no. It's just like I'm just a little beaten down. Took a lot out of me.
Didn't call the grandparents.
No, I just battled through it. Grandparents are already in warm places anyway. They can't help. I'll make them. I'll don't worry. They'll pick up the slack in the future. Stop boring you with my life. I agree with a lot of what was said here. Dallas seems quite popular. They have like cool fantasy players at every level. There's a perception about them, and even the perception with the Bears is probably still not those like nice second half drives that Trubisky led. Drop that dime in there for I don't know, the fullback or like the backup tight end in the Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, the guy from Princeton.
Sure. Right. And more, the memory was probably still like after the Thursday, now like we're a week later, memory is still like him like limp dicking the first down before the half.
Yeah, the big thing here is, and we saw this in the Bills game, was Dallas once again got banged up on the offensive line. They couldn't block anyone anymore.
And they have injuries. Van Der Esch is out. A lot of players.
Amari Cooper is still banged up.
So they've got their own problems, and you're almost betting Dallas at this point, like just banking on like desperation breeding brilliance.
But also, Dallas doesn't need this game. They can lose this game, and it doesn't affect their division whatsoever. They just have to beat the Eagles, beat Washington, and they're the division champions.
Yeah. There's a lot of
and Chicago's still shockingly alive in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're only 2 back, and I think they catch the Vikings one more time, so chance to make themselves 1 back. And I think the Vikings are a wounded and leaking team. So yeah, the Bears and the Rams are very, very live in the NFC wildcard.
I'll make it I'll go the Bears also, but I don't have like Tim's confidence of like thinking this would be a super lock because I still fear Dallas's ceiling ability.
For me, it's more just Trubisky.
Yeah, of course, but I don't want to. I just don't. I don't know. It's Thursday night. I don't want to bet.
Thursday night, outdoors in the cold.
100%, as Tim alluded to, you are getting a good. Yeah, you are getting good value with the Bears. It shouldn't be 3.
So round to Chicago for us. The coin, however, will take Dallas.
If Dallas was the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Chicago would be favored by like 6 points.
I think it'd be like what Tim said, like a point.
No, if it was against Jacksonville, they'd get at least 3.
I'm saying if it was Dallas's roster, but they were Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think they'd be
Okay,
getting
fine.
at least 3.
Then you're saying what I'm saying. Then you're going to bet this game.
Probably. I'll look at it. Probably Anthony Miller over catches. I keep betting that. It keeps hitting. It's a nice one. Miami at the New York Jumbo Jets on Sunday's show, Geoff.
Yeah.
Did you know that Tim called the Jets one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the AFC? Said maybe better than the Chiefs.
I'd like to recant my statement.
The Jets are 5.5-point favorites at home. 45 is the over-under in this game. Tim, the floor is yours. I'm taking the Dolphins out of principle of just not taking the shitty Jets, but the Jets have played better at home.
Can I just say
Yeah.
I'll take the Dolphins too? And Tim knows I'm a
What?
Jets guy. And I don't think I've gone against them all year, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, baby. And you no.
hate the Dolphins, who pick
I know.
against them every week out of principle.
I will.
Now you take them in this spot. How dare you? How dare you do that? The Jets are so winning this game.
You cursed my team.
I take no
You murdered
responsibility.
Phillip Rivers.
He did it to himself. Let him look on his own sins. Don't blame me. I take no responsibility.
Do you think Tim will be cashing his Phillip Rivers MVP wager? How about those Chargers Super Bowl outrights?
Chargers Bears, big matchup. This fucking,
You get things wrong sometimes.
who are the
I-
Chargers playing in the AFC Championship game?
I believe I had them. Who did I have them playing?
Because you had Bears Eagles.
I thought it was Indianapolis.
I believe it was Indianapolis, and then Luck retired.
I mean, my picks were shit too.
And then
I
I
was high on
changed it
Eagles
before the
also.
show. I changed it before the show. Picked somebody else. I wonder. Who
So,
the heck-
sorry, let's get to the Jets and where do you go from here, pal?
Well, thank goodness we don't have any more winless teams on our schedule. I'll say that. Seems to be our kryptonite. Seems to be our Achilles heel. I don't know, man. Like, it was clear from the jump, and I was worried about that game all week, that I thought the Bengals were absolutely in a fantastic spot.
Then why did
No,
you say
no.
that the Jets were one of the top 4 teams in the AFC?
I thought they were.
Why would
And
you
I-
say we might not lose again if you literally had a
Because
game you were worried about in 6 days?
Against
I
an
was-
0-11 team.
Because I was fired up. Because Sam was playing great against a team that I thought was maybe better than I thought it was. I mean, last week was just one of those games I think you can just kind of throw out. I actually don't take a whole lot from it. They just played poorly. It was a bad spot on the road. Nothing was clicking. They were poor. The coaching staff did not have the team ready for the game. They just played badly. That's what it is. I wasn't shocked or even devastated because I kind of could see it coming down the pike. But now we turn the page to this week, and I think we're going to win. I certainly can't imagine the Dolphins beating us twice and somehow being ahead of us in the division. That would be so gut-wrenching, so sickening. They're not coming into New York and winning. They could do that in Miami where it was warm and temperate, and the Jets have had some trouble on the road this season. But at home, they have played darn good football, and I do expect them to play well in this game. 5.5 is about the right number. The Jets are a touchdown or so better than this Dolphins team. Miami on the road. I mean, last week was one thing when it's warm and sunny against an Eagles team, which has tons of problems and just didn't seem like they were into it. The Jets I think they're going to be really focused. That kind of loss was embarrassing. They were riding a bit of a high. They get slapped back with that loss. This team is still full of a lot of talent. I think they're proud. I mean, Sam is still playing really good football. He didn't turn the ball over last week. That was not that was not the Patriots game. That was not the Dolphins game where there was a bunch of turnovers. That was just the offense didn't click and the defense didn't quite make the plays you'd want them to make. I think the Jets play fine here. I'm not worried about them. I expect them to win the game outright. And I put together this week, I'm trying to play it more safe this week.
Boy.
So I put together a money line parlay.
Oh, okay.
And so the Jets are the first part of a 16 money line parlay. I'm
Not
trying to play
again,
it
Tim. Don't do this.
What are they paying? Minus what?
They are -2. I'm seeing them at -240.
Minus 240 on the money line. So there's probably a loser right off the bat. The easiest way to break down this game, I think, is what we do a lot of the time. Who has the better coach? I think it's pretty clear Miami has the better coach. Who has the better quarterback? I think it's pretty clear Miami has the better quarterback. So Miami's going to win.
Stop it.
Why? Fitzpatrick has been significantly better than shitty Sam. Low energy Sam.
Fitzpatrick is amazing. And I don't know how you can want to tank, but
you have said nothing but mean things about the Dolphins.
I haven't. You know, I don't know something. I'm changing my pick. I'm taking the Jets. I just wanted to.
Because that was going to drive me nuts. The very notion that you pick against them every single week, and then in this spot, you go ahead and pick them just to get under my skin. I knew what you were doing.
What are the Jets going to do to contain your Laird and Savior, Tim?
Well, listen, the Laird works in mysterious ways. That's a fact. And he scored last week. He almost scored the week before. He continues to be by far their best running back. They don't give him the opportunities.
Well, he got on the field because the running back got hurt last week.
I know, and he scored. So I want you to hope he gets better opportunities. I mean, listen, I went to bed on Sunday night and woke up from a deep sleep very comfortably without any anxiety or fear, in part because, they lost the game and they deserved it. And I have nothing left to worry about for this season. This season is and honestly, this season could have been a lot worse. There are teams that have lost in a lot worse ways and have had a lot worse seasons than we have. So it could be worse. So, and the future is bright. Things are only going up for the Jets. So
I could put a GIF in right there.
Question from the audience. Yes, sir.
Because I think he was talking about me.
Just a quick question for Tim. So how could it go much worse? Your quarterback got mono and you lost to two teams that hadn't won a game all season.
I mean, say it could have gone worse is not to say it went well. But I mean,
the Eagles, the Chargers, I would argue the Falcons.
Well, the
with
Eagles,
where their roster,
the Eagles aren't even out of it yet.
You're fine. That's fair.
But Geoff,
those were the teams. The teams. No one. I mean, Tim. His
Rams,
expectations weren't real.
The Rams, could still make the playoffs, but the Rams have significantly underachieved for that roster, and they're in win now mode.
It's all relative. I would say, if the Jets and Chargers have the exact same record, or there's a lot of these teams at 4-8. If you just named a couple of them to me, even in Arizona, if they had the exact same. The Chargers losing all these games by a touchdown or less. That is so catastrophic to a team like the Chargers, where they are with their roster in this development with this coach of getting 9 wins, 12 wins, a playoff win, and then here. If I'm Arizona and I lose how the Chargers lost, I'm everything is great. We don't need to even win these games. It looks like we can compete in the games we're not winning. We're not getting our ass kicked. We're not having these
except for last week.
I'm saying if they had what the. If you're young and a team on the rise, the Chargers season, you could look at it and find so many positives, the record and how they're losing. But because the expectation, because of the age of the quarterback, because of where how the roster is constructed, now the Chargers aren't in a world of hell like the Rams. They can still find a way to work with this roster and find hopefully a quarterback that won't turn the ball over. But I don't think the Jets, if you believe Darnold progressed, I know you despise him.
I don't despise him. He's just not good.
Okay. But if you think he made...
he has really regressed.
If you think he made progression, then I would argue it's a successful season for the Jets. It's humbling because they probably thought they're better than the Bills or could be where the Bills are. They shouldn't, now that we've played 12 games. So that's disappointing. But realistically, no one had Tim's expectations in August.
Jets fans did. Talk to any Jets fan. They're all as diluted as Tim is.
Sure, no, they were hoping to make a stride, but I to think that they were actually going to make the playoffs, win a playoff game. That would have taken a lot.
Paul, it's as if you had something to say.
Yeah, so I basically brought that up in the sense of it hasn't been that much of a disaster in terms of what most people think about this Jets team coming into the season. But Tim guaranteed that they would win the division. And based on how things have went through, I can't imagine it would have went much worse for the AFC East champion Jets.
And the coach would have been far worse if we lost a bunch of games by a field goal, a touchdown, 8 points. And those would just linger and linger. I mean, Sam got sick. Those games are gone. It's annoying. It didn't go well. But in the end, it was a fun ride. This was a fun team, even though I mean I've seen it sometimes. And in 2020,
You lost to 2 winless teams, man.
Yeah, but I mean, for
What do
roller
you mean it was
coasters,
a fun ride? It was a fun team.
Tim just
You
likes
know,
to
but
Tim's
for
a
roller
cock.
if roller coasters are going to be fun, they have to have sharp downs and sharp ups. And this was a down, and that's okay because 2020 we're going to be really, really good.
Oh,
We're
God.
probably going to compete for a Super Bowl in 2020.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Tim.
And I saw what I needed to see this year.
You think your coach can compete for the Super Bowl? You're the 4th best coach in your division by like a wide gap. You know, like definitive gap.
Yeah, I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that.
So
That's a problem.
you'll use the coach as a crutch for every other team you don't like to coach. But
I
when
think
it
the
comes to
coach-
the Jets, they can overcome that.
Just
I'm hoping.
imagine thinking that your team is better off with low energy Sam than Josh Allen. Like, that blows my mind.
I feel better about it every day, even though Allen's playing better.
Because Allen is better. He's been better since they've been in the league.
I'm not making any of those.
Who's been better?
conclusions. They both have put ceiling plays on
No,
tape.
Josh Allen
that
has
make
been
me-
better.
They have both put plays on tape, moving sideways, delivering the football. That
Sam
you
Darnold
should both
may
be
have had
excited
3
about.
good plays all year. He's terrible.
Oh,
Like, he is
right.
awful.
Let
And
us
like,
move
and like
on.
I said,
I've
and he has,
exhausted this topic.
he has a little bit of mobility now. Just wait until he looks like Jared Lorenzen and he weighs 400 pounds. That's
or
coming.
Baker Mayfield does.
I don't know about that.
And you know what? Shame on you. Shame on you.
I was waiting for this. I was going to bring this up as well.
Shame on you. You're out there losing to the 0-11 Bengals, saying the things you've said, and you think it's the day to pile on Baker fucking Mayfield?
When he broke his hand?
Honestly, like I'm nuts, but you're out of this. You're out of this world, man.
It made me feel good. It was a balm.
You
for
have
what-
no. I don't know what the word is.
I mean,
but
I'm going to take the criticism for it anyway.
It's such a tone. It's such a tone deaf moment to be delivering those.
You know, if you've ever been on a boat,
It doesn't
or
mean
whatever,
Baker
and you see a
doesn't
bucket
deserve
full-
criticism.
If you've ever been on a boat and you've seen a bucket full of crabs, what you'll notice is as one crab is trying to escape the bucket, the other crabs will grab it and pull it back down into the bucket so it can't get out. That's essentially what was going on there.
Fun fact about Tim. Never been on a boat, never seen a live crab.
Lives
Not
on
true
water.
and not
He
true.
lives on a freshwater lake.
But I have been on the ocean many times.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
I don't believe you. Sounds like fake news.
I'm a nautical person.
All right.
I'm
so
a nautical person.
but he's an indoorsman. Remember that. So Miami for myself and the coin, the Jets for you two goobers.
Doesn't he have one of those talking fishes on his wall?
Oh, take me to the river.
No, I
Throw
don't.
me in the water.
A Billy Bass? No.
We got that for Christmas one year, whatever the hell it was, like the late 90s. And all of us just took turns pushing the button all day and thinking it was the most hilarious thing. Not surprisingly, I was a child. And I guess it should have occurred to me at that point that a lot of people in my family smoked weed. Didn't know it when I was a kid. But them being entertained by Billy the Loudmouth Bass really should have been the indicator on that one. Throw me in the water. It would come. It would just be there on the wall. They would just move over. Oh,
Well, based on the backdrop we got of Tim's place a couple weeks ago, it looks like it's one of those places that would have one of those things.
yes,
on the
this is
wall.
true. A millennial loft. He lives in a log cabin. He thinks he's not a millennial. Baltimore at Buffalo. One of the games of the week. Buffalo, 6-point underdogs at home against the Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP, most likely. 43.5 is the over-under. I don't know what to do with this game. I feel like I want to take the Bills at home and the points, but almost like Dallas. If we don't think that Dallas is all that great, that also means that Buffalo hasn't beat anyone who's all that great either, and the Ravens are really great, that Baltimore might just curb stomp them here. I don't know how they stop Lamar at all.
I didn't bet San Francisco last week for the purposes of this show. I thought there was value in the
And you were
line.
correct, so did Tim.
And I'll almost say the same thing again. I think the number, there's still a Ravens inflation. So for the purposes of a pick show where I'm picking every game, I'll take the couple points that I shouldn't be getting. Now, granted, I always come on here and rail about certain people and how they overrate like a point or a point and a half, that 88% of the time means nothing on a game. But those are also people that like bet 7 leagues in every game, and like the smallest margins mean everything. Far less entertainment purposes, like us and our 500 records.
Yeah.
Like we're very standard.
We're paying the vig. Yeah. And you take the Chargers every week out of just pure passion.
Just paper on.
I generally just take against the Jets every single week because it cracks me up. So those are our picks. Paul, you're the Bills fan. How do you think they handle Baltimore?
We may have one of the most athletic linebacker crews in the entire league. We're set up to stop the Patriots with their short little dump-off passes. Our defensive line, pretty good. We have been getting rushed up the gut. That stadium will be a hornet's nest, and everyone's going to be super fired up. I think 6 is way too many points. If this is in Baltimore, I think this is a appropriate line. At Buffalo, 6 points. Give me it. I think the Bills are going to win outright again.
December at the
week.
Ralph.
If this game is close,
all these wins.
If this game is close, I do think the Bills win. I just don't think it's going to be close. Like Baltimore's defense is actually
So you're
quite
like
good.
saying like bet money line.
I would
If like the Bills.
No, if I would probably if you're going to bet the Bills, I wouldn't even take the 6. I'd take the money line. If I was going to bet Baltimore, I'd probably get an adjusted line. I'd take like -13 or something like that.
Or do what I'm going to do and make them the second part of a money line parlay.
Okay. Baltimore -250, I want to say.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, -250. It's not that I don't believe in Buffalo, but I don't. It's really just a play on the Ravens under a touchdown here. I mean, we finally saw a defense last week that was able to figure them out and essentially shut them out in the second half. But the Niners defense is head and shoulders above what Buffalo can bring out, I think. And so it's enough for me to say that this is just not a game I envision Buffalo winning. This is a game that I think Buffalo is just not quite in that class of teams yet. I expect the Ravens to win by 7-10. And so I think that's why I'm going to play the Ravens.
Paul?
Just want to say, how many games do the Bills have to win before anybody gives us respect? We've got 9 wins. We're 9-3.
If they win this game, listen, they just got flexed into prime time. Oh, they don't get any respect. Then the week after, they were flexed to the 5:00 game on the Saturday, where they're gonna have a ton of eyeballs. No one respects them though. I see how it is. No one wants to watch the Bills. They had the most watched Thanksgiving game in forever, the most watched regular season game of the year.
They played Dallas.
Yeah, okay, but the Bills were still participants in it. Like more than when the Dallas played the Redskins, more than they played the Chargers.
In terms of trying to gauge the Bills' respect, this is an awkward spot because they just had their big win, but they're literally playing the team that no one wants to step in. The betting public, I mean, and I'm sure coaches' rooms too. Like if they were playing a Jacksonville this week at home, I'm telling you that line would show respect. But they're playing a team that people have just decided. The gambling public, football fan, it happens every year. The books try to give you a couple more points on this team, on that team. Last year it was the Chiefs, because they know there's just an inherent, an inherent.
Yeah, people want to bet them. They have the MVP. They have the most exciting guy in football, and they blow teams out.
Unfortunately, this is like an unfair litmus test for like getting the Bills' respect.
Here's what you need to know about Bills' respect when it really boils down to it. Where the amount of people who are like, Josh Allen's pretty good. This is the first time I've ever watched him play. That was sort of the takeaway from Thursday for like the general public because no one watches Bills games.
10 days rest,
or it was like the other side
it's
of
happening.
It, like Crazy Morency telling you, I told you how amazing Josh Allen is.
Yeah, because Josh Allen's been really good. That this game needs to be Buffalo runs the ball 35 times.
That's what they might try to do.
They're going to try to, but if they fall behind, they can't do that. I just worry about them stopping Baltimore on offense. Just shutting down Lamar is tough, and I don't think they have enough speed like the Niners did on that defensive line. And even they had to adjust at halftime because in the first half they were getting gashed by Lamar. So Baltimore for me, Tim and the coin, Buffalo for Geoff. Carolina and Atlanta. Ron Rivera went into the ring and he lost a "You're fired" match to the owner, I guess. Atlanta's favored by 3 at home. 47.5 is the over-under. I said Ron Rivera is fired. Tim, I threw this out to Geoff that I think that Ron Rivera should just be the Chargers coach next year.
Why not? He has experience having been there. Well, why that? He wouldn't. He went to a Super Bowl not that long ago. He'd be an improvement over Anthony Lynn. I don't see a problem with it.
And you can bring Cam with you.
Sure, if you wanted to do that, you could.
The
I'll
owner
make it
in
quick, though. I'm taking the Panthers. I'm not laying 3 points with the Falcons right now. Even though they should have covered against the Saints. Again, another Thanksgiving where the better team did not cover or didn't. The Saints were very, very unimpressive again in a big game, even though they won. Again, the Saints continue to be the least impressive good team in football.
their defensive line didn't let Ryan do anything, but the Falcons should have won the game.
They nearly gagged it away by allowing the Falcons to get 3.
So yeah, they had
So
some.
it took 2 consecutive onside kicks just to have a chance to cover the game.
chance to tie it.
Whatever.
And cover.
Really, they recovered 3 consecutive onside kicks. Like
So
that
the
was
flukiest thing ever is the reason they should have won the
They
game.
let the Falcons hang around in that game. They did not take
Look at the stats. Look at every important categories: sacks, pressures, yards, plays, time of possession. I don't know where you what you
I
watched.
can't wait to bet against the Saints team in the playoffs because they are going out first round. I can't wait.
When they win this week, they're going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah, I love the Saints this week.
Maybe they would. Then it's a second round, and we'll nab
This was
them
a
then.
2.5, I think, before the news almost.
Yeah, I'm still taking the Panthers.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I actually like Atlanta here.
How come?
They'll have the extra time. This is so far up Schitt's Creek now for
Both
Carolina.
Do you think?
Do
you think this means Cam is gone?
I
I think that would be such a mistake.
I agree it would be a mistake. And I was saying before, the owner.
You don't know the
remember
help-
Jerry Richardson got kicked out of the league like 2 or 3 years ago. So this owner hasn't had to make his mark on his team yet. This will be his chance. He'll hire a coach. He'll make a decision, or allow the people he wants to put in charge to make a decision if they keep the quarterback. The extra time for Atlanta. I love you. Give me a sport where they play one of those 82 game a year sports or the 162 thing. You get into like the mid season, you get me to like game 41 and you just fired your coach. I love coming in on that team. Because that season is so long. It is so tedious. It is so boring. I think there's just an effort there that like in game 41, you could get something. With football, when you fire your coach, you are so far up Schitt's Creek. There's usually no helping you. Unless you fire like a Hugh Jackson and everything from that is obviously like you're better by subtraction is different. Carolina's ready for Christmas. Atlanta.
It's Norv Turner as the head coach. Remember that.
Norv stepping in. Yeah, so the offense is going to change. I do worry about Dontari Poe being injured. Not that Atlanta can really run the ball all that well, but everyone can kind of run on Carolina at this point. I'm going to side with Tim. I'm going to take the Panthers and the points. Just seems like Atlanta went to Carolina and punched them in the mouth. Like, can they really contain McCaffrey? Really? If the Panthers can block just a little bit in this game, they're going to win. And that was the one thing they couldn't do a few weeks ago. So I'll take the points in a divisional game, even though it isn't Atlanta. Has Atlanta been the most confusing team all year? And they've been bad for a lot of the year, but then they come out in some of these division games and beat good teams.
I can't figure out the card.
They played 2 great games out of their bye. Other than that, they've been horrible.
Yeah,
So
I suppose
they're not
that's
really
true.
that confusing.
Good at onside kicks. That's like part of their game plan. That's how they almost win games. That's how they're in it. Onside kicks. So Carolina for Tim and I, Atlanta for the coin, and Geoff. Cincinnati, Cleveland. I hate to say it. Cleveland's favored by 8.5 points at home. 40.5 is the over-under.
Bengals money line.
Here's the thing. I have the same thought as you do. I mean, not necessarily the money line, but definitely plus the 8.5. And I know that Tim is going to be on that as well. I feel like everyone's going to be on Cincinnati this week. Everyone.
Publicly back underdog is one of the worst.
I know,
places
and that's
to be
what worries
in pro
me.
football.
And when we start putting this in...
That's why I'm worried about Miami this week because everyone's going to love Miami.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They definitely should.
Yeah.
But everyone's going to love Cincinnati in this game. And Cincinnati's played really well the last 3 weeks. The defense looks a lot better. They're pressuring the quarterback all of a sudden. But the Browns can do one thing really well that Cincinnati just simply cannot stop, and that's run the ball. And you just give Chubb 25 carries, you give Hunt 15 carries, and I don't think the Bengals can stop you.
I think this game will have the lowest handle of any game on the board. I don't think it'll be a popular bet. And I'm going to take the Bengals just because I don't think the Browns ought to be 8.5-point favorites in division right now. I think it's just too big. If you said it was Browns by 5.5, you could talk me into taking the Browns. 8.5, I think is just silly. No, I'm not going that way. Give me the Bengals.
The coin's going to go with Cleveland. I do worry about Baker's hand. If it's like partially broken, that's not great. I don't know. It just something about Cincinnati worries me in the points because I just looked at this line. And I was like, oh, Cincinnati for sure. And I know that everyone's going to look at this 8.5 and say exactly the same thing.
Give it to me. The Nat. Don't want to win too many games. First overall.
I'm going to take Cleveland with no other justification that I really feels like one side's going to be. Like I said, the running game should work. The defense, although Garrett's not there, is still like okay. And do you think we'll see AJ Green this week, Tim?
Probably not now.
He's not playing this year. I can't imagine.
Unless he's healthy. No, I can't imagine.
I think he is healthy.
I'm shocked Park Avenue didn't call to make sure he played against the Jets.
Well, there was a conspiracy, according to Tim.
Let's move on. That's too painful.
John Ross is back this week, too, for big play ability. Oh, I did want to say, I did like the only thing that I've bet so far this week, I bet the over in the Dolphins-Jets game at 45. I hope it's not like awful weather, but both those defenses are not good. Denver and Houston. Houston coming off beating the Patriots. Beating off the Patriots. 9.5-point favorites at home against Denver. 41.5 is the over-under. I will make this very short on my end. I think that both teams are going to run the ball as much as possible. I think that both defense, Von Miller should be back for this game. I think Drew Lock is not terrible. And I think that, honestly, that Denver's going to be able to run the ball here. I don't think they win, but I think they cover the 9.5. And I'll wait for this to get to 10.5, because everyone's going to bet Houston. I'll take Denver.
Yeah, like fading a team off like a huge win in primetime.
Yeah. Me too. I'm wagging a monitory finger at the people taking the Texans this week. The Broncos are a very live dog. 2 weeks ago, they should have beaten the Vikings. They did beat the Chargers. They could absolutely not just cover. They could totally win this game.
Like the Chargers literally like gave Denver a game, but Denver does enough things. I think the coach is good. I've been saying that even when they were bad.
Don't put the Texans in your parlays. Don't put them in your teasers. Don't do anything with them. They're a very dangerous team this week. They will screw you.
I'm with him, actually. I think Denver could win this game, but I like the 9.5. It's a round of Denver, coin included. Do you watch Drew Lock? Give us your scouting report on Drew Lock from playing the Chargers. Because you probably watch more of that game than anyone else who's not in the NFL. And like
we all watched that game because it was the only good one.
No, I was watching the Chiefs put up points against the Raiders. That was fun.
I mean, I'm upset we couldn't do things to like force him into really bad decisions, but I don't know. It felt like we gave them field position and we gave them the ball.
Like, did he look competent?
Yeah, absolutely. And he wasn't afraid. Like, their numbers on Casey Hayward were insane coming into that game. He's just like, I'm throwing at you. And
Sutton's a man.
And Sutton like made the insane touchdown catch. Like Hayward, nothing really he could do there. He's right there. And I don't want to get into
we'll get into that.
That's just annoying.
All right. Next game then. Detroit at Minnesota.
But also showed the coach was happy to just like launch most Anthony Lynn would have just taken a knee. They're like, no, well, we'll chuck it. You might catch it. You might get PI, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a good lesson for coaches.
A lot of coaches wouldn't. They wouldn't.
I know. It's really strange.
Especially with a rookie.
Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota favored by 13 at home, coming off the short week on Monday night. 44 is the over-under. Tim, your boy, Mr. Blau.
That's his name.
His name again, Mr. Blau. It was better when I thought his last name was Blow, but that was more fun. 13's a lot, and it looks like Dalvin Cook's going to play, so they'll have their full complement of players. I'm actually going to take Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm eating the chalk too, and we're going to put them on the teaser or the money line parlay.
Is there a point of putting a minus 750 team on?
I wanted to get this thing up to 4-1, and putting the Vikings on there allows me to get it to 4-1. So
seems unnecessary. What was it without Minnesota? Like 360?
It doesn't matter. They're not going to lose this game at home, so put them on there.
Oh, God.
So should I lay
I should just take Detroit.
Some poor sap just put $1,500 to win $200 on this game.
Yeah. Paul?
Didn't Tim say that they were falling apart at the seams? Yes. Vikings were falling apart at the seams literally 20 minutes ago on this exact episode, but now he's putting them as a minus 750 favorite.
That was 20 minutes ago.
No, the Vikings are falling. The Vikings are a team that's falling apart. But what have I seen from the Lions to make me think they're going to win this game or even cover this number? Nothing really. I mean, the Lions are coming off Thursday nighter, and the Vikings coming off a pretty intense Monday nighter. Sure, I mean, there's a lot of things conspiring against Minnesota per se, and they're not a great team, but they can win this game 20-6. Like, I don't know. I just think the both teams are going to want to run the ball a lot. It's just, I have no confidence in Detroit. I just want to take Minnesota here. I'm not a lover of the minus 13. That's why I'm going to put them on the money line. But I don't know, man. It's just like this Vikings team has problems. They're probably going to lose next week, and they'll probably lose to the Packers. And so that's 2 losses in their quiver. And who knows? They could lose to the Bears too. Like, I think they could lose 3 of their last 4, but I don't think they're going to lose this game. And I think that the Lions will not be able to keep it close.
I like the almost like the Miami Jets game. I like the over in this game of 44 more than I like the minus 13 by a mile. But I'm taking Minnesota, and Minnesota's just better at home for one thing. Minnesota for me, Minnesota for Tim, Minnesota for the coin. Geoff?
Yeah, Minnesota. The main factor here, Zimmer's gonna just get this kid.
Yeah, I would think so.
Zimmer versus a rookie.
Standout defensive player Anthony Barr will get to him, right, Tim?
What a horrible... I mean, that Dan Bailey fucking kick also cost us like a chance to push the bet. I bet money on that game last night, too.
I bet on Seattle. Remember we did the Minnesota doesn't cover games that are outdoors against teams with winning records?
No, and
if fumble the ball, it's a shit show.
If Seattle wasn't playing volleyball...
I'm happy I didn't go harder. I'm happy I didn't go harder because I love the Vikings all day yesterday.
Yeah, Vikings were never the right side there, that's for sure.
Huh?
The Vikings were never the right side in that game. Like, if it hadn't been for, like, Russell Wilson playing volleyball with the ball around the goal line, they would have been lost by 2 touchdowns. Like, the Vikings are clearly not in the class of the Seahawks. We saw that last night.
Put the ball on the carpet, like, inside their own red zone 2 times.
Like, what I saw last night was a Viking team that does not nearly have the caliber or the pedigree to match up with the top tier.
Oh, I think you put Thielen in that game, it's a lot different.
Doubt it. I really doubt it.
I actually really like the Vikings roster, but yeah, it seems like their ability to stack like one big win, let alone consecutive ones to do what would need to be done, it seems unlikely.
And people are calling out Kirk Cousins for his performance. I thought he was actually quite good. Like he was not the reason they lost on Monday night. It'd be like
blaming Phillip for the Chargers game. Like there's time to blame the guy, and there's times where like, come on.
The week before against Kansas City.
Yeah, and the Oakland. Like there's games where he deserves the blame. We don't like manufacture blame when there's plenty of real shit.
Indy at Tampa. Tim's Buccaneers favored by 3 at home against Indy. 47.5 is the over-under. It doesn't look like Hilton is going to be back, but it does look like Marlon Mack is going to be back for the Colts. I don't know if I like Tampa as a favorite. Like asking them to win by more than a field goal against competent teams seems like a lot, doesn't it? I know they've had some big wins against like semi-competent teams, but they're coming off of a win. Indy can get to the passer. I'm going to take Indy +3. I don't love it, but I'll take Indy. Tim.
Yeah, I'm taking Indianapolis too. I don't, for much the reasons you just said, I do not trust Tampa against a reasonably competent, well-coached team, which Jacksonville is neither of those things. So, yeah, give me the Colts.
It is hard to trust these guys, Tampa, in this spot. I was looking for the trend.
Jameis coming off games where he didn't throw a pick, throws 8 picks in the next game just to even it out.
It's like dividing by 0. The calculator doesn't know what you're doing.
I thought I had a different one when the Bucs are favored by 3 or more at home, but this kind of says enough. Buccaneers are 24-54 ATS at home in their last 78 games. And it's like a big sample, but you're just like blindly like you've seen enough of it.
Yeah,
Jameis or whoever was before Jameis and whoever was before that. Give me Tampa.
You're taking Tampa anyway?
I'm gonna take Tampa. I don't know. I think
Indy looks beaten.
Yeah,
they really do.
They look
injured. Like they've had so many injuries. And they're bad without Hilton. Like they're legit.
But
bad.
they are so well coached and they do play good disciplined football and they seem to like plug and play good as anybody.
There's 2 things that really stand out in my mind as sort of turning points. Like from last week, and I know to say, like, if Vinatieri doesn't get that kick block return for a touchdown, I think they win that game. Like, it just threw them all out of sorts.
I don't know. I'm starting to believe in Tennessee. They're starting to maul teams.
Oh, that's the end of Tennessee. We hardly knew you now that Tim is on.
Yeah, where did their run start?
Yeah. The other one, good Mo from that one too. But there was a play, and Tim, you'll remember this. It was actually in a Jets game for the Raiders. The game was close at the beginning of the game. It was like a 3rd and 13. Tyrell Williams dropped this like wide open first down catch over the middle. And he could have ran for like 20 something yards to like tie the game up basically. And he just put it on the ground. The Raiders punted, and that was the end of the game for the Raiders. And the Raiders have been shitty ever since.
Yep.
I honestly thought the Raiders sucked versus the Chargers. The Chargers kept giving them the ball.
Well, they're very nice, very generous. The holiday season,
Oh my God.
Geoff.
We love Sadaka. Holy fuck.
So Indy for Tim and I, Tampa for you and the coin. Game of the week, I think. San Francisco at New Orleans. 2.5 is the line for the Saints. 44 is the over-under. I think you said it a bit earlier, Geoff. I too love the Saints in this game. I feel like it's not to say that San Francisco is like worse than New Orleans, but you're a West Coast team again for the second consecutive week playing in is New Orleans Central or Eastern time zone? Either way,
It's a Central time zone.
It's
Southeastern.
Southeastern.
They're coming more than halfway across the
It's
country.
Southeast, so it's a dip.
It just New Orleans at home. The defense is really good. They're better. They have a better defense than Baltimore does. They're going to make Jimmy look bad. I think that the Niners defense is going to make Drew Brees look kind of bad as well. But then you start comparing everything else. Like the defensive line, a slight edge to like these teams are constructed a lot very similarly, but the skill position players on the Saints are a lot better. And is Richard Sherman going to play in this game? Because that's huge. Paul, what was it that you found out about receivers against San Francisco before we did the show?
I don't know if I know it for 100% fact, but I was going through all of the game logs, and I don't believe they've given up a 100-yard receiver all season.
And if Sherman's not,
They've gone up against some great receivers. Too.
Really? Yeah. Like they shut down Marquis. Like every single week, you're just like, oh, I wonder how their number one wide receiver did against San Francisco, and they all get shut down. Like it's absurd. And Tim was right actually last week about Lamar being way, way, way under his passing prop.
He was.
Like nobody passes on this team, but you can run on them.
No, the
And-
Niners defense is smothering.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
You can run against them. I think this is just a big Kamara game. I think the defense shows up. It's in New Orleans. If they win, they're the 1 seed all of a sudden, and San Francisco is the 5 seed.
This could be my super lock.
I love New Orleans in this
great
game.
spot.
It just feels like
Extra
It
time.
feels, they
They
played
played
Thursday.
4 quarters against Baltimore in a very physical, running,
the extra
wet
rest,
game.
the time to get healthy for the Saints, and then it's just a letdown spot for the Niners. They played super tough against Baltimore.
I'm putting this out there. I am going to fade every 49er big game moment from here on out.
Is it a Jimmy
Yeah, I
G
feel the
thing?
exact opposite. I feel like everything I've seen. The last
I
month
believe they are great.
There's a space
They're
between
great,
the Niners
but
and
but
the
I'm
Saints.
telling you, they've peaked. They have peaked. In my opinion, they peaked. It's just steadily coming down now.
When does that happen for Baltimore? Have they peaked too early?
Maybe, but they peaked a lot later. Like San Fran peaked early. I would argue San Fran peaked the earliest of anyone. And the Patriots don't count because they're their own freaking animal.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Anyway.
Yeah. And holy jeez, like I was sitting on my couch, this dull Jewish boy in Midtown Toronto. They're playing Seattle. I have the wherewithal to know, play for the goddamn tie, you idiot. And it's gonna cost them huge.
Yeah, I don't think it
Huge.
is. I think they're going to crush Seattle when they play them next. They're going to
Huge.
I think they'll beat the Saints here without much difficulty. I think they're a significantly better team than the Saints. And I mean, Vegas knows they're the better team too, because Saints are only giving you 2.5. So
All right,
Vegas
so-
knows that on a neutral field, the Niners would definitely win. And I think, listen, a couple of weeks ago, the Falcons went in here and sacked Drew Brees 1,000,000 times. And the Niners have much better pass rushers than what the Falcons can put out there. I don't think the Saints line can block them. I don't think they can stop them. I don't think they can get the run going. I think the Niners are very, very difficult to beat in a conventional way. The Baltimore figured out how to get to Baltimore and Seattle, the 2 teams that have beaten San Francisco. What do those 2 teams have in common? The best and second best quarterback who've been playing this season, who know how to get to the outside and make magic. Not traditional pocket passers. I don't think Brees is the type of QB that can inflict damage on the Niners.
So what you're
and
saying is that they should start Taysom Hill.
No,
The
but you said it. This is just the heavy, like Belichick, receiver screen, wire hitches, like Breeze that ball's at 1-2 snap.
Maybe Hill will block a punt and it won't count as a block punt
Yeah,
because it'll go forward.
Bubble screens to Ted Ginn, Kamara out of the
Like you said,
backfield.
Taysom for three. They go a little army ball, like at certain points too, like 3.5
you
a
can't-
clip.
It ain't good enough. Their best is not as good. I think the Saints offense at its best is not as good as the Niners defense at its best.
You want to bet?
I like
this
the
one?
Niners here.
You want to bet this one?
All right, so plus 130 on your parlay.
No, not. I'm playing it safe.
You basically just guaranteed they were going to win.
I'm not guaranteeing.
He's playing it safe, Pat.
But the
Playing
game
it
he
safe.
feels the most confidence in,
Minus
he's not putting on.
750
This is
type
not the
safe.
game.
Okay.
This is not the game I have the most confidence in.
With the way you just talked,
There's one we're going to come to later on. which
Yeah,
I have a
but if
lot
that's
of
the case, so it's the game you have the second most confidence in of the week. Yet it's
No,
not going
I
on your
don't think
money
that's
line parlay.
I think
I
I
don't
know
think that's
which game
true
it
either.
is. I think it's
It
the
makes no
Titans. I think
sense
it's
to
the
me.
Titans. This is the way he already.
Yeah, the late
it's
Teton. So
already,
New Orleans for you and I and the coin.
Yeah.
San Francisco for
And
Tim.
if Tim wants to go money and colas, I'm game. Like I'll make you drink one of those cinnamon cokes.
Thank God we don't have those in Canada. I've been looking to just to make sure we don't.
Like just be looking. I'm happy that my grocer doesn't carry that.
Gas station.
Yeah, Tim doesn't go to the grocery store or the supermarket to
That's
buy
not true.
groceries. He
So-
goes to. I mean, Tim lives off.
Yes, I know. We don't all go to the Metro on Front Street. We all don't.
But I-
You realize like the metro is like
So,
low class, right?
Okay, this kind of makes sense because I sit there watching football on cable.
Where
like-
would you rank Metro of Toronto supermarkets? It's like third in terms of like.
Oh,
class.
maybe fourth.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, maybe fifth.
Tim thinks it's really good.
Yeah, but we're big city elites here,
Yeah,
Pat.
so we go to like the discount supermarket.
No, I mean like we have like a lot of like.
Yeah, we do. But
higher-
Metro is like not good.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it's not bad, but it just we
Metro
like there's
is
just a lot of available.
Perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
not it. 100% perfectly acceptable.
It's not no frills.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't
no
buy the
frills
meat.
is low.
Oh, it's not. No,
Or
you don't.
Price Chopper
go to-
back in the day.
You don't go to no frills, but there's a lot of hoity-toity stuff around us. But I watch these primetime football games, and I see these like 7-Eleven commercials, and all the money they're paying to make a television commercial to tell me you could buy like 4 colas for like $2.50.
Tim's in. Tim sees that.
And
He's
yeah,
like, oh
that's
my
what I
god,
mean. I'm like,
mind
What
blown.
the hell is that weird? Like, who the hell's buying? Like what? Like that,
That
makes no sense.
that
to me.
is. They're
And that's like they're
advertising
talking
to-
right to you, eh, bud?
They are. They are advertising to me. I am that demographic. I go into 7-Eleven and I see 4 Cokes on for $2 and I go, that is a deal. And I get one of the baskets because I want to take advantage.
Okay, now you go to the grocery store, the 12-pack is like $4.
Yeah. Well, it's not usually that cheap. It's usually a little bit more than that. But yeah, still.
No, because here's the thing with Coke. It's literally one of those things you should only buy on sale because it's always on sale.
If I
Somewhere.
if I
like
were
between
to
the
buy
drugstore or
any
the
sort of
grocery
soda,
store.
I would not buy what as someone who used to work in a supermarket. The bottles go on sale more than the cans. I don't
the
like
2-liter bottles or like
Yeah,
the 591
the
milliliters,
2-liter
like
bottles.
Cam's missiles. is
no,
what we
yeah,
call
cans
them.
missiles. No, the 2-liter bottles go on sale far more than like a 12-pack of cans do.
It's always on sale somewhere.
I'm a can man when it comes to soda. I don't like bottles.
But like you drink out of the can or can with a straw or can into a cup or just straight can.
Just like if I'm gonna have it, I'll just drink out of the can. I
One
mean,
of those,
I would
like
take
paranoid people that will like wipe down the top of the can.
no.
I do that.
Yeah, Howard Hughes over here doesn't need the germs.
Well, just anyone could have touched that. It's just
They could get dusty, but look on. So.
Glass bottles, completely
Oh,
different.
that's
story.
a game. Those are
Yeah,
game.
absolutely
changers.
agree.
And then your craft colas, like fancy ones, but that's like you can run up a bill.
Tim doesn't
Like those
want
are like
this.
4 for like
Yeah, I
4
don't- I
like
don't.
bottles for like $8.99 or
yeah,
something.
I don't support that.
Last game of the early slate. Washington at Green Bay. Green Bay, like Minnesota, favored by 13 at home. 41.5 is the over-under. I watched a lot of that Green Bay and Giants game. I know that the Packers blew them out. They didn't look very good in that game. Like, it's really strange. Like I think Washington can cover this number.
That's
I
been
don't
their
have-
MO all year.
Yeah, I don't have much to say, but it looks like Washington can run the ball, control the clock, do enough.
They can just
13
they can run
points.
the ball enough, and they will continue to run the ball when they're behind
And they can play
as
some
well.
half decent defense. And oh my God, what an some really embarrassing losses last week.
I just think, but the volume of running that they're going to do in this game, winning or losing, is just going to run it's like Denver. Like they're just going to run the clock out. So big spreads against them are going to end up being tough. They just need a defensive stop or two to get them in position, score a cheap, like deep McLaurin touchdown, or that other guy, Kelvin Harmon. He does things now. That they just need one like chintzy score, and all of a sudden they're going to cover this game. So I will take Washington. So will the coin. Tim?
Give me the Packers, and the Packers are on the parlay.
What was it, 950?
Minus 700?
Yeah, put them on.
Oh my God, man.
Playing it safe this week, folks.
If you just took both those games off and just put on San Francisco, who you're confident is going to win, it would pay more.
I don't care. I'm doing this the safe way. I need to get on the board with a W here. I'm playing it my way.
You're not-
Frank Sinatra, I'm doing it my way.
Well, you already put the Jets on. They're going to lose, so that's not good.
I feel good about things.
Oh, we're at the midway point of the show, Tim. Did you know that?
I did now.
Well, we're at the midway point, which means, Geoff, it is a Cust Corner mini. I did have one thing for you, Geoff, to start off with.
Oh God.
No, it's nothing crazy. I bring my son to daycare now. Very pricey daycare, because apparently there is no cheap daycare, as I found out. It's not good.
It's all.
So I try to get him there as early as possible so I can really max out my value on the daycare. But they have this dog that wears a yarmulke and has like the menorah type. It's like a Jewish themed dog, like for Hanukkah.
A toy.
Season. Yeah, it's a toy, and you play it and it like dances around. My son loves it. Are there more of these things? Do you have any at your house that I can just have for my house because it calms him down?
I don't.
He just sits there and goes like this.
I don't know. I guess they have to. They have like decorations of all religions, I guess, right, for the holidays.
Yeah, everything is there. It's sort of like the Billy the Loudmouth bass, but for
Yeah, I was
Hanukkah.
gonna say, yeah. There's that you see that stuff all the time now, like dancing like snowmen or.
Do you think the snowmen say, "Take me to the river"? Hey Tim, throw me in the water. I didn't know that was a real song until I heard it
Why
one
would
time.
the snowman want that? No, you would melt.
How early do they let you take the kid? Like, because I'm
Eight-
about that too.
8 a.m. is when it opens. And here's the fun thing. So 5 is when they close, and you get charged $5 per minute for every minute that you're late picking them up after 5 for the first 10 minutes. Then it's $10 per minute after the first 10 minutes.
They're not fucking
And after
around.
that 20 minutes, $25 per minute.
I mean, they should give you to like 5:05 before they put you on.
No, you're on the clock. I like it.
Wow.
They want to get out of there.
I guess so, but they don't have like at like my kids, like there's like you would have to pay for it, but there's like a late
There is not at this
like
place.
a aftercare hour care thing, and you could like you don't do it every day, but I'm running late today, like can you put her in aftercare and they would charge you.
At this place, I don't believe that there is. But,
Yeah,
it's so close to our house. We got to do it.
Yeah, of course. That meter is running.
Yeah, you got to.
I guess good. Geez, you can get away with that shit here, especially in this city. And you're right. It's
outrageous. And just, we had to put them in 3 months early to get a spot.
oh,
They're just like, you can have a spot now, or you might not have a spot by the time you want to
dude,
actually
it's
put them
it's such criminal. The fear mongering in like the child industry is out of this world.
What was I saying? Because Paul and I were talking like rent versus childcare. I pay more than 2 times what Paul pays in rent for someone to watch my child for 7 hours. It's ridiculous.
It is. I'm not surprised to hear that one bit because I
Sucks.
know where you live.
Yeah. And there's no other option.
in the
There's no
heart
cheap.
of
There's
the
no
city.
cheap option. Is the thing.
None.
That sucks. Tim, hit me with your. You have a good one today. At least I believe it's going to be good.
Yeah, I thought instead of doing a list per se this week, I thought I would give the people some advice as their tribune. I think that's part of me giving back in the holidays, and that's giving some tips and pointers about how to throw a good holiday party, a Christmas party, whatever you're celebrating. I think I can provide. Having been to many parties,
And isn't he an award-winning host
He bought himself a trophy. That is true.
for a summer party? Self-proclaimed best party thrower.
Best party ever. That's what people are saying. He's not the Aussie sunglasses guy. He's not famous like that guy. Paul, yes.
Do people know that clip? By the way, I had this debate like 2 months ago with somebody.
No, they don't.
That
Paul.
people know, and I said they did.
Just a quick question, Tim. Is this for alcohol parties or all parties? Like what parties are we talking about? Are they all covered under the same roof, or is this for non-alcohol parties?
That's really only a term that makes sense in like high school when many of the parties are not alcohol.
Viewers of this show know the reference.
People who get this deep into the episode definitely understand the alcohol parties reference.
Okay, but I'm just saying an alcohol party only really makes sense as a concept when you're in high school, when you can't actually buy or consume alcohol. After people are 19 or 21, then all parties, I think, are relatively assumed to be an alcohol-centric.
I will say that based on my experience, you can consume alcohol in high school.
Well, yes, you can.
Throwing that out there.
The majority of the parties that I went to, there certainly was no alcohol involved. That's for sure.
Oh, before you get into your Christmas party tips, there was another 1-star review because I go through the iTunes reviews so I can draw the winners of the 60 DK bucks. And there was one on there that gave us 1-star tip based on me because I said that everyone who lives on the east coast of Canada is an alcoholic, and they took real issue with that, giving me 1 star. But I counted it up, there was, I believe, 57 words in the review, and 17 of them were spelled incorrectly. I think the person was drunk.
Or that's a pretty good batting average for them.
Yeah. And I mean, they were like, you need to apologize. I will not apologize for a joke I'm going to make from a place where I'm from. And Tim currently lives. Tim, everyone can't be an alcoholic on the east coast of Canada because you live there. You're not an alcoholic.
That's right. I wouldn't call myself a teetotaler, but I very rarely consume alcohol. I do on occasion.
What I will throw out based on statistics is that it's almost double the average of like North American alcoholism exists on the east coast of Canada.
Sure, but we probably have more universities per capita than most places in North America, and so that's a contributing factor.
And nothing to do. That helps too.
Well, there's always nice things to do indoors.
Yeah, like drink. That's what the people do.
Well, some people do. Here are some tips. If you're going to have a party, first and foremost, I do not care for the ugly sweater parties. They were interesting and cool.
You wear ugly sweaters 365 days a year.
They were cool and interesting, like when they began, but they sort of gotten tired. And now I'm of the opinion if you're having a Christmas party, it needs to be formal. You should be telling people to show up dressed nicely. Do not show up to someone's Christmas party in a t-shirt and a pair of blue jeans. I'm sorry, you shouldn't do that. Preferably wear a tie. Wear some nice pants. I think you should probably wear a jacket. If you don't, yes, definitely slacks. You don't wear a tie with jeans. Come on now. I know that might be cool at TIFF. That might be what everyone's doing when they walk around the CNE while they eat their fancy foods instead of going to perfectly good restaurants like Subway. That's
so fancy, man.
Yeah.
So fancy
So
at the
fancy.
CNE where everyone gets
Jimbo
sick
out of
every
like
year
chili
from like
cheese
low
on
food
top.
quality.
My vision of CNE is like all these fancy tasters or like people are eating their all.
So you have no idea what goes on there.
Literally, listen, I want Pat to invite me back, so I'm not going to explain the CNE to you.
It's literally a fair. He's saying fair food is fancy for the
It's the
people who
equivalent
are
of
not
a
from
skate
the
fair.
Toronto area.
Yeah, like a lot of the people there are the nut low.
People literally get
we
sick
love
there
it. We
every
love to
single
eat
year.
so much that we will. This is like the type of oh my God. You're trying to park and you see the minivan in front of you and like 17 people hop out of it.
That's Tim's
hit a
scene.
nerve.
And they're all got finely trimmed mustaches and hipster glasses that aren't
This is what I imagine.
that don't even have prescriptions. They just look good. That's not the X, bud.
No. Tim is agreeing with you because he doesn't know and doesn't realize you're being sarcastic.
Like,
You're being sarcastic?
I like your takes, but how do you confuse the the fair with.
Oh, I just assume it's this fancy taste test for Toronto foodies. Sort of like that's what I imagine seeing.
It's an outdoor fair.
Like the building that they hold it in is probably going to be condemned in the next 5 years. Like this is like the lowest. Like it's so bad. There's yeah. When's the have you ever been to the CNE,
like
Tim?
It's a carny fest.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
We went to it one time, Tim and I, and we went to the casino, and it was the single like most low budget casino on earth. The dealers didn't know the rules of the games that they were dealing.
Okay, that's fair. I never went to the food stuff, so I'll take your point that I misconstrued.
And there was a guy who looked like JP Arancibia who was standing behind us, who was trying to bet on our other friend Tim's stuff.
All
at
I'll
the
say
table.
is I'm at this place. Me and my wife have a great time. It's just maybe it's more of like an annual traditional thing, like for us locals. Then I don't know if I'm actually having a great time, but we have fun. But my head is on a swivel the whole time.
Yeah, you don't want to get shanked.
Yeah, and I am and anytime we go, we're documenting for the group chat because you see some shit. Okay,
But it's the fanciest place on earth, according to Tim.
Anyway, my point was before I misstated things, but the CNE, although I think it's still probably more hipster than you're willing to give it credit. You should have a relatively formal or semi-formal dress at a party especially if you're hosting, but even if it's not, you should dress nice. It's Christmas time. You should dress nice. You don't show up in a t-shirt. That's bad.
I completely disagree. I like showing up in a t-shirt so people can see my guns. Got to show that off. You don't work out for no reason not to show it off, Jeff.
Christmas time,
Everyone
bad
knows that. Shut up. New Year's Eve is more the time of what you're talking about than like Christmas time. Because everyone's off work. Everyone's like kind of chilling around Christmas time. Like people show up in like fucking sweatpants.
see, I actually
chill out.
I would argue it's the complete different. Like New Year's Eve to me would be like the sweatpants.
No, New Year's
and
Eve.
couch.
New Year's Eve, if you're gonna go like formal for anything, I would say that like, hey, it's New Year's. I wouldn't put on a tux or anything like that. What Tim is describing sounds like he would show up dressed like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly in Step Brothers going to interviews wearing like a tuxedo t-shirt.
No, I wouldn't. My next point was that when it's time to serve food, serve normal Christmas food. Nobody wants to go to your party and try this weird new recipe that you saw on the Yelp. They want to see real stuff. They want the regular stuff. They want your fruitcake. They want your bacon wrapped scallops. They want you're laughing at me. What did I do wrong?
What the?
Do people not like fruitcake and like bacon wrapped scallops and like meats and cheeses and like your
The Yelp.
The Yelp.
whatever. Right?
Nobody wants your food from the
Recipes on
Yelp.
the Yelp.
Whatever like food recipes people are getting off of the internet. I don't know what they do. Anyway, my point was that people don't want these fancy, weird, I just saw this on Facebook to make this thing. No, people don't want that. People want your traditional stuff that they know and they're used to. I'm sorry, that's what I like too. That's like you should have the normal stuff that you'd have at a party.
So you just want like piggy in a blanket, like from a box.
Yeah, that's great. Chips and dip. A meat and cheese tray. Like I said, fruitcake, cookies, candy, hot chocolate, beers, wines, like I said, bacon wrapped scallops, bacon wrapped potatoes. I've had those at places.
Would you suggest?
Hold on, Paul.
So let me get this right. Tim wants us to dress up to go to a homeless party.
Yeah. you got to wear your tuxedo and have your chips and dip.
How is this homeless? This is traditional.
Tim, remember, you got to go to the gas station to get the Ruffles dip before you show up to our classy affair. This affair is going to be very classy. That's what people say.
Ruffles makes this spinach dip, which is out of this world good. I tell you, it's amazing. Like that would be at my meal.
You would fit right in at the X, by the way.
A cheese ball. You definitely should have one of those too if you can get one. Regular, people don't want wacky, off the wall, weird stuff. When they go to these
please give us examples of wacky, off the wall stuff.
Oh, and if you see it on Facebook all the time, or people
give us specific examples.
What's
please.
the dish? What's the
know.
appetizer?
For some reason, there's this darn thing in my Twitter feed that keeps Philadelphia cream cheese keeps like recommending how to make like snowmen out of like cream cheese and stuff. And I was like, I don't want that. Why is this even in my feed? So I click on it to figure out why am I getting this? And like I keep getting it. It's very annoying. This kind of stuff really aggravates me. I don't understand why I have to get all this weird new stuff. All I want is the regular stuff. So I think that's what you should do at your Christmas parties too. That way your guests know what they're getting.
You haven't said
Also,
anything.
Yeah, you haven't given an example.
Like
yet.
Philadelphia cream cheese has commercials about like whatever.
make
It's for
like-
icing or cheesecakes or
Yeah, like-
And also, the reason that you're getting these ads is because you keep clicking on them. You know that, right?
No, but I'm clicking on them to get rid of them.
What does that even mean?
Like you can click on ads to say like, why am I getting this ad? To like stop getting ads.
Yeah, the moment you click on it, that means you have engaged with it, which means you're going to get even more of that exact same type of ad.
I don't
How
know.
do you not know how the internet works?
I'm trying to click on like, why are you seeing this ad so I can get rid of this ad?
Just
'Cause I don't
block,
need to see
block
all
the
these.
account. That's what you do.
And that's a good idea.
Anyway,
Also-
so you have not given any specific examples of this fancy food, and you want people to show up and like go to the
Also-
supermarket and buy a thing of
No.
like the wheel
Pat.
of cheese and bring it over.
Or
Just-
like a
Hold
tray
on,
of-
hold on.
how
Let's
about you just have like a nice charcuterie board? You can have your meats, you can
could.
have your cheeses, you can have your breads.
How
I mentioned that.
How fancy?
No, that is you did not mention a charcuterie board.
said meat and
How
cheese.
fancy
Yeah,
do
that's
you
not,
think?
but no, the board would be too fancy for you. You want them to show up with the plastic wheel with the cheese and like the blocks, so you can pick
or
it
the
out and
plastic,
eat it.
yeah, or the plastic container full of vegetables. I think that, or a fruit tray. That's a can't miss combination.
If it's gonna be a classy affair like you're talking about, why don't you put some spreads out with nice cheeses properly, even soft cheeses that you can put out and mixed with different like rabbit meat and that kind of thing.
I don't like soft.
So
cheeses.
really, you're just giving us tips for a party that you want to go to that no one else likes.
Well, I just think this is traditional stuff that many
I'm
people-
also curious. How fancy could Philadelphia cream cheese be telling you to like do something?
Oh, like they want you to make like these snowmen out of like a Philadelphia cream cheese mixture. I don't know. Like, and you see it on Facebook, and if you don't
Oh my
know,
God! So what are they like?
I don't get these ads targeted at me,
like,
unfortunately.
oh, here's how to make this like Christmas style cupcake. Here's how to make this can't miss 7 layers.
I know there's like a word
I
for
don't
it, but
wanna see
like
this stuff.
visual, like I don't know. They want fun kids treats for the holidays. Like, why are you?
I
Triggered?
want the things I grew up with and that I know. And that's what people want when they go to these holiday parties. They want to know what they're getting. They don't want to be surprised. They may not come, they may not have eaten.
You
before.
didn't. It seems
Hold-
like you've
hold on,
never
Paul.
been out. So what do you know?
Yeah, Paul has a question.
Maybe we can dig it out of him this way. When was the last time that you were at a party, Tim, and you were just like, you know what? That hors d'oeuvre, I don't want that at my party. Because you're not really giving us much here.
I mean, I've had hors d'oeuvres in the past that I just didn't care for.
Can you just give us a fucking example of one? Just give us one.
I don't know. Like, there's stuff. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I just being remembered not liking things that I saw. I can't remember what it was, but just the feeling that I had. And I'm trying to alleviate that feeling.
It sounds
The
like
other
you're
tip-
it sounds like you're living your truth.
The other tip I wanted to raise is that you should organize to have games at your party. Traditional games. I'm talking Pictionary. I'm talking, like table games, card games. Those are fun. People
How
like
many
those.
people
Like,
are at the
you-
party?
like,
6 people.
Like you're hiring a fucking blackjack dealer for your party? I'd be in on that, by the way.
No. Like, remember we went to a Christmas party once where we played Pictionary, and that was a lot of fun.
Yes, I do remember
no,
that.
it can be a lot
It
of
was
fun.
it was only fun because we went to like it wasn't even really a Christmas party. It was like so we went to a friend's house around Christmas and his
It was
parents-
Christmas night.
and was it Christmas night?
It was Christmas night. I looked it up in my journal.
My journal.
Who are you, Kavanaugh?
Tim would love to be Kavanaugh.
He was.
That's a personal hero of his. But the two things that stick out from that night was my wife was legitimately triggered over two things. One, the guy there was the host of the party was just ranting and raving about climate change, not real, not a real thing. That was pretty fun. And then I was just kept egging him on. Tim agreed with him. And then to get a word in, it wasn't Pictionary. It was like,
categories.
it wasn't categories. What's the one where you say the thing and you have to get them, like you say one word and you have to get them to say the word?
Oh yeah, it was like a catchphrase.
Yeah, catchphrase. So we're playing that. And the wife of the guy said, the answer was nurse. And her
Correct.
clue was female doctor. And the guy instantly went nurse. And my wife was just like, oh my God. She
Pat
did
had
not.
to reenact the CBC. That's what his card was for Pictionary or for charades. He had to play charades, and it was act out the CBC. Think about that, how you would do that.
I don't know.
Anyway, we also played a game like that once, and somehow the answer was Al Pacino, and the clue was given, you looking at me? You looking at me? And the person instantly said Al Pacino and not Robert De Niro got it right. How does that happen? How do you fuck up the impression for the wrong person, but the other person guesses wrong anyway? That is like next level stuff.
Yeah, it's like when Lenny used the word concur correctly.
Here's the thing.
Italians would conquer.
To play these games, you would have to have more of like a dinner party than a party.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like you're like,
need
it's
like
like 6
people.
to 12 people, 10 people, kind of 8 people.
No, 'cause
to
there's
do
always a
this.
group of
But if you have
people
a
that want
party, there's like 25 people. They're walking around, they're mingling. Like it's kind of hard, and you like start a game, and it's like I don't know.
Question:
We'll just have some beer pong or something
At
like
your
other
party,
games.
is there at your party is there one bathroom that's dedicated for people doing drugs?
No, it's Christmas
Your party
time.
sounds fucking lame, man.
No, it's elegant.
It's not. You want people to dress up and eat the lowest forms of food, and then play
No, they're
Pictionary.
not low.
Can
They're
I
not
say?
They are, Tim. You're incredibly low. How have you
No,
not figured
I'm
this
not.
out?
I'll say this. I love Christmas. I love it. I love it. It's such an awesome holiday.
Because you get to go to fucking the Chinese buffet on Christmas Day.
No, I just like all that it's about. I'm anti the war on Christmas. People should be able to say it,
Nope.
sing it.
Christmas canceled.
Like
That's what I heard.
I kind of do believe that's like a real thing. And as someone who
not a real
doesn't
thing.
celebrate it,
Has
I
anyone-
want it to be celebrated.
Have you ever heard anyone in your real life be anti-Christmas? Ever? The answer is no. That doesn't exist.
No,
I remember
but-
several years ago when Mel Lastman, who was the mayor of Toronto, fought the city council who wanted to call the tree a holiday tree. Mel Lastman said, "It's a Christmas tree. What's wrong with you people?"
Yeah, Mel
It
Lastman's a Jew.
Shut up. Yeah, and Mel Lastman's like, "It's called a Christmas tree." He had no time for that sort of war on Christmas.
Was Mel Lastman also the one who made those controversial remarks about
Yes,
about Africa
when the Toronto was trying to get,
the Olympics?
Yeah.
Not a great look, Mel.
No, Mel's had some weird stand. There was like an illegitimate son. But
So
the bad boys.
So Tim doesn't want fancy hors d'oeuvres at his Christmas party or crazy ones,
Oh, well,
but he can't.
I
But he can't actually name one.
What about like mini grilled cheese? Is that like fancy?
sounds
It's
delicious.
too
I
fancy?
don't even know what that is.
What do you mean you
Is it like
don't
a
know what
slider?
that is?
But like a grilled cheese slider?
I guess so. Yeah, that would. Yeah.
No, it's just a smaller. It's
Sure,
like,
but it's
Tim,
like slider
It's like the
size.
small bread from Spinal Tap,
Sounds like so. Well, then why do you keep folding it over?
just made with smaller bread.
I mean, I guess it's okay, but it's not what I'd want at a Christmas party. Like
Why?
I want the things I grew up with and that I like. I want the little gherkins and the crackers and the cheese, and I want the chicken bones in the candy dish.
He
and
wants
I
like a
want the
box of
fruitcake,
Triscuits and like a slab of cheese.
Yeah.
and I want a
But
box
not
of
like
quality-
good cheese, just like Kraft slab.
No, and I want a box of Quality Street on the table that's open, and I want like your cheddar cheese, your mozzarella cheese, your Swiss cheese.
Why are you
understand?
demanding everybody has your same Christmas
Low taste.
and your like childhood experiences?
Hold on,
I'm giving
Paul has something to say.
Chicken bones in a candy box? What are you talking about? I don't
Like candy
understand that
bowl.
reference.
Candy bowl.
Oh,
He
you,
wants
do
his
you not know
Quality
what chicken
Street.
bones are?
No idea.
Just Google chicken bones right now. They're fucking disgusting.
Oh, chicken bones are delicious.
I'll
For the
look at
people who
that.
don't know, they're peppermint
They're-
candy filled with chocolate.
They're awful. And do you know who likes them, Jeff? Do you know what he's talking about?
No, but I love peppermint. Like I love a candy cane.
No.
Love that shit.
No one. The only other person I know who likes chicken bones is my grandmother. It's a real like Tim.
Sounds gross.
The Christmas party you want to go to, you can go to. It is happening at the old folks' home by your house.
It is true.
That is the perfect party. For
Tim, you know how you
I'm
like the after Halloween when like the candy's on sale? I like the post Christmas when like there's even this like PC peppermint ice cream. I think it's delicious.
I have that in my freezer right now. It is so good.
It might not be as good as I thought.
Literally never seen those things before in my life.
Yeah, they're
The
gross.
one story
Because
that
they
They
comes
show
up,
up at the Metro, not the. Oh, you're talking about
the
chicken.
story behind the
Sorry.
weirdest maritime Christmas candy
Yeah,
is
it's
what the
gross.
CBC is calling it.
gross.
I thought everybody knew about chicken bones.
No,
Yeah,
it's
never,
located
never
to where
seen.
we're
I have
from.
no idea what
Sorry,
this is.
It's a regional delicatessen, I guess.
It's like scrunchions in Newfoundland, which is fried back fat.
Oh, scrunchions are good.
It's literally you take pork fat, from the back of the pig and then fry it and then eat it. That's it.
They're good with baked beans.
But yeah, my buddies are planning like to go to Star Wars and eat Chinese food on Christmas.
Okay.
Oh, I'll have already seen Star Wars by then.
Are you watching the new Star Wars show?
No,
No.
I'm not watching.
You
I
don't
don't
have,
know.
You don't have Disney Plus?
I do not have the Disney Plus yet. I'm not opposed to getting it. I just don't have it yet.
Let's give a recommendation, Geoff, of hors d'oeuvres people can easily make for their guests that are delicious. The mini grilled cheese is a good one. I like that one. Sliders in general are pretty good. I will say if you buy like full jalapenos, if you take the jalapeno, like the actual pepper, you cut it in half and like scrape it out. You put cream cheese in it and then wrap it in bacon, and you throw that shit into the oven for around 25 minutes. The bacon will cook around
I've
it,
had that before.
and that is
Jalapeno poppers. They're great.
delicious. No, but you're talking about the deep fried ones.
No. I've had them. I've had friends actually make them from scratch, exactly the way you just described.
Okay,
Except
but
it-
that would be too fancy for yours.
Do you know what I love? And I never get it. I only get it when we go visit the old people in Florida. Oh, a Christmas like ham.
Yeah.
From this Jew boy. Like, oh my
Christmas
God.
ham is delicious.
Love that shit.
I'm
Love
not I'm not a ham person.
I'll eat that once every 2 years when I'm in the right place at the right time. In the right city.
Ham's okay, but I'm on Team Turkey.
No, turkey's great too, but you don't understand. I don't get ham. When we have
Whereas
like
I know
Rosh
that-
Hashanah dinner, there's no honey glazed
No.
ham on the table.
But I know Paul is on Team Ham.
Oh no, I'm anti-ham. I hate
I
ham.
thought you loved ham. I'm sorry.
Ham is literally the worst.
Yeah, apparently it is the nut low, but I guess it's this thing that like I didn't
No,
have.
you
or-
don't get it.
Yeah.
So if you do,
A roast pork.
I mean, a ham with a bone in it is different than like the lowest of the low is like the little like farmer's ham,
Talking, like,
whatever they
lunch
call it,
meat
the
ham?
one,
No,
the
I'm
one that you get
talking
for like
like-
$9.
I'm talking
What about the
like a
ham that
carving
Cam bought?
station, like
yeah,
what about
fancy
the ham? The ham that Cam bought at Giant Tiger that he had to fry up because it was too.
That was
buying-
spam.
Or the chicken balls that were just balls of chicken instead of chicken balls.
I mean, your favorite chicken balls are the ones that are just batter and no chicken.
Oh, those are so good. There's a place here locally. I don't want to get too maritime centric, but there's a place here called Look Ho Ho that makes
Which
them
is the worst.
chicken
It's
balls
so
in the
bad.
city. They're
It's
so
very
good.
easily the worst Chinese food restaurant in
Oh,
Halifax.
You know
it is
what, though?
so good.
It's so bad.
here's the thing. Sometimes with the Chinese, like the local, like this, it's so bad it's good. I don't know.
But there are other places
I know
around
what
it
Tim
that are
is
far
talking
better.
about. So like sometimes you just need it, but you better be prepared for what's going to come after.
No, it's like not good to eat. Like it tastes bad.
Well, that
Oh,
sucks.
no, it's
But it's the only place Tim knows, so it's great.
Well, he had it when he was 7 years old, Pat.
And his taste buds have not evolved.
So he
since.
can't try a different place that's
I
highly
grew up
recommended by
all-
friends and family.
I grew up eating it all the time when I was young, and I will never forswear it.
It's bad. I used to live right next to it. It was terrible. Let's get back to the games.
I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just hoping he'd have like a mall tip.
Yeah, do you have any
Is
mall tips?
bandwagon mall season?
Is that next? Is that next
Mall
week?
tip- Mall tip is next week. Stay tuned, folks. That's a tease. That's good for the SEO.
There we go. Kansas City at New England. Patriots are favored by 3. 49 is the over-under. Paul pointed this out before the show. I tend to agree with him. Almost like that Cincinnati game. Who is looking at this line and not betting Kansas City plus 3?
Me, Patriots are my super lock of the week.
By the way, since you've jumped on the Patriots, they've imploded.
They are not losing this game. The whole world is going to love the Chiefs, the Patriots. You know, this is Jim Nantz and this is Romo. This is Foxborough. It's going to be cold. It's going to be dark because the kickoff's at just about 5:00 Eastern time, 4:25 I think Eastern time. It's going to be like a primetime game. The whole world is going to be on the Chiefs. Patriots are going to get every call because they always do at home, and they're going to win the game outright. I think they win it by 2 touchdowns. Love them. They're on the teaser, and I'm going to take them as my super lock. There's no way on God's green earth they're losing 2 games. There's no way they're going into the playoffs having had lost to Baltimore, Kansas City, and the Texans. Probably the other 3 teams in the top 4 of the AFC. It's not going to happen. They're going to beat the Chiefs here.
Sorry to jump in. All right, so here's the long con I think that Tim is on, and I'm completely okay with it. We made a deal about the Bills winning the AFC East. So Tim is being very, very pro-Patriots. I actually agree with him in terms of his take on this game, but like he's being very anti-Bills. He's being very pro-Patriots. I think Tim believes in the curse, and he's trying to curse the Bills into winning the division. And you know what? If I have to give you $50 for that, if you just stay away from the Bills, I'm okay with that.
People forget that Tim offered Paul, for the second consecutive year, even money on Patriots to win the AFC East.
Yeah, that was dumb because the Patriots are going to win. I'm not playing any sort of black magic here. I'm just facing the facts as they are.
But you'll do it again next summer.
The Patriots are not going to lose this game. It's not going to happen. We all know this. All of us, even if you bet the Chiefs, you know deep down in your gut, oh my goodness, I'm going to hate myself when it's 10-0 Patriots and I'm cooked. Like, you just know in your knower that this game is going for the Patriots. So just take the stress away, bet on the Patriots, and be done with it.
I don't know what to do with this game, Geoff, because I looked at it and said, I want to take the Chiefs. And then, again, I kind of talked myself in circles, being like, well, my mind started to come around to what Tim is saying, is that it's very difficult to figure out the Patriots losing this many games, especially to all the playoff teams. Like, what if they lose this game and then they lose to the Bills in week 16? Then they'll like have lost to every single playoff team in the AFC.
Yeah, except for the Titans, who they don't play, but who would beat them if the Bills beat them and the Chiefs beat them? Well, then the Titans would beat them too, probably. But that's not going to happen.
So I'm going to take Kansas City plus the 3. I feel like Kansas City figured them out in the second half in the playoffs last year. We know that Kansas City wrecked them on opening night a few years ago. I think the speed for Kansas City is the one thing that the Patriots can't really do much about. We've seen speed kind of kill them this year. They haven't played a bunch of high-quality teams, but every time they've played a good team, basically they've lost. So I'm just going to take Kansas City plus 3. I think they win the game. Geoff?
I'm with Tim.
I'm curious to see where the money comes down on this game. I think a lot of people will say they like Kansas City, but when the bets come in, it'll all be on the Patriots.
You could be right. It could be like how America voted.
Yeah.
Based on the polling.
I'm not voting for Trump. Oh, geez, he got a lot of votes.
But you watch like TV, it's all that whole, I'm not like.
I don't think the Patriots are finished by any means.
Yeah, that's whole talking point.
They probably still have the best defense in the AFC.
That gets out there. Give me the Patriots. They're at home. It is a short list for Super Lock. I was hoping that I'd be on the wrong side of Tim here, so maybe we could find a bet. I don't remember if we ended up betting Saints or 49ers, but we're on the same side. I'm with Tim. It's real money, and it could be Super Lock, but I'm not there.
Chargers at Jacksonville for a later game in Jacksonville. It won't be as hot as it would be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Jacksonville 3-point dogs at home. 43 is the over-under. Minshew walk back under center for the Jags. Tim, before the show, I asked Geoff, who would the Chargers' next head coach be? Who will be? And he said that Anthony Lynn is not getting fired. Could you imagine Anthony Lynn not being fired from the Chargers?
I think it would be hard to believe, but the Chargers seem to make very strange personnel decisions, so I suppose it's in line with it. They ought to. No one has done less with more this season than Anthony Lynn, and I don't think he's covered himself in glory while he's been there as a head coach. Not like he's earned another year, if you know what I mean. So I think he's eminently replaceable. That being said, I'm going to take the Chargers in this game because I'm just off the Jags. As bad as things are going for the Chargers, things are going very badly for the Jaguars too. Doug Marrone is gone. I mean, you don't bench the guy who just paid $30 million after he's played 3 games. If you think that you're comfortable in your position, you do that because you're desperate. You're trying to put together wins to save your job, but that ship has already sank. Give me the Chargers.
I'm guessing you're taking the Chargers as well, Geoff?
I'm tempted not to.
I like the Jags.
But I don't know. I will. I'll take the Chargers. I don't care. I want them to lose. I need the draft capital.
Oh, so you want them to lose now?
We've been here before. You got to lose, but they're not going to lose because they're better and they're too talented. It sucks.
Yeah, but they can win by 2 here.
Oh, they can. Yeah, 100%.
They'll find a way to win by 2 and not cover,
or lose. They'll find a way. That was just okay. Despite how I pick them, I think over the years, I've proven to be quite accurate in how I like project the games, even though like the sheet says how I pick them. Last week, I was dead wrong. One of the most wrong, but at the same time, they fucking kill these teams. They just turn the fucking ball over. They're so stupid and they're so gutless, and they don't have any balls to make any play calls when it counts. But every game, like by every metric, except like turnovers and field position, they fucking beat these teams. I don't know.
Would you be mad if Phillip Rivers was the quarterback next year?
No.
Seems kind of washed.
They've got to protect him. I don't know what they should do, but I think in my perfect situation, he would come back on a 2-year deal with the second year being a total team option.
Like you're entering a territory now where if you start him and don't figure out the future, then he's basically Eli.
But no, there's no way they're not figuring out the future.
Are you sure? Because where's their future at? Who are they going to get? Who are they going to draft?
Well, how the fuck do you get a quarterback in this league? There's only one way to get one.
Who are you going to get?
You want me to be Tim and then pick my guys?
Yeah, pick your guy. Who you want? There's a guy you want. I know it.
Yeah, pick your guy. Yeah,
I'm not going there. There's not a chance
here.
in hell you're getting it out of me.
No, say it.
Like, if Tua was available to you, would you take him and play Rivers the extra year?
Yeah, I would.
What if Cam was available?
You'd have to protect the guy, though.
What if Cam was available?
I would rather Tua.
Okay.
I don't know.
Even
I
with
don't know.
this roster?
Cam has to be healthy. I'm afraid Cam healthy will be amazing. Someone is going to get someone so good.
That's the thing.
The other part of it is that he is Andrew Luck, who's lost the love of the game, but doesn't want to give up 28 a year. Like ain't walking away from that for anything. But the body is broken. Yeah, so it's a fine line. I don't know.
Imagine if you had $28 million. How many laptops you'd have to sell to make that up?
How many babushkas you can buy? No, listen, they got to do something. They're moving into the stadium. I don't care to talk about this game. I'd rather talk to you guys about what they got to do. Because the roster is good. But there's a lot of things, Pat. There are so many really good players. And after next year, the boatload of contracts that have to be handed out is extreme.
So you have to sign Bosa. You have to sign
We could do
James.
this right now. After this year, the big contract that is going to expire in my opinion, is Hunter Henry.
They probably have to let him walk.
Not a chance.
Well, I mean, you're saying there's not a chance Anthony Lynn gets fired. They can't sign everybody. They just can't.
I don't think Henry's a guy. No, you see, the difference is I'm going to tell you who they're going to get rid of, and it's not going to be Hunter Henry. They're not going to get rid of guy going into contract number 2. They're going to get rid of guys going into contract number 3.
So Keenan's gone?
Keenan last year will be his next year because he's been injured a lot. It's 7 or 8 years in the league. I don't think they have any interest in going into contract number 3 with Keenan. He was drafted injured. Like, there's been a long injury history. I don't think it's out of the question now that who knows where they could be at the table with Melvin Gordon and a number that works for both sides.
He's gone.
No, I disagree with that. And
there's a waste of money.
Maybe so, but who knows what that number is going to be? Because I don't think he's proven to be worth anything close to what he wants. So we will see. I think Melvin Ingram will be gone in a couple years. I don't think they want to go to contract number 3 there. They don't pay guys for what they did. They'll only pay you for what you're going to do. At least they hope. They haven't always been right. They struck it on a couple. My memory will go back to letting Rodney Harrison walk when there was still a handful of good years there. I know that's very Chargers radio far back, but there's a lot of bodies that need contracts. It's a good team. And we'll see. And I don't know what happens. I don't know if they start Phillip in December, but Tyrod gets to play because they want to see.
Why do you want to see Tyrod? It's not like Tyrod's a young man.
Just to see how that offense could run, like running that offense with some mobility at the quarterback position.
I think that
Easton,
franchise is not benching Phillip Rivers. They're not doing it.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying I think it's possible that like Tyrod gets like a couple drives. Not starting games. But I think Phillip should be there next year. They got to protect him. And even the left tackle they like gets 6 penalties when he comes back.
Tim,
So I don't know
do you
what
think
they're gonna
Rivers is
do.
back?
I do think so. I don't think they're ready. You don't move on unless you have an option to move on to.
He's
And I don't
only
think-
back if they don't. There are some teams that don't want the new guy even to have to deal with the old guy. They just want to like cut it bait. You know what I mean? Like they think it's just bad. It makes it even harder on the new kid if that illuminary is there. You know what I'm saying? So some organizations might feel that way. I've always been beholden to how magical you can make someone if they get to spend a year with Philip.
What, him fucking yelling at you the entire time? You're
Sure.
like, go fuck yourself,
No,
old man.
you watch it all. How Philip is a man, how Philip is a dad, how Philip does film, how Philip does meetings,
How
Philip
about
does
here's
camp.
how Philip throws? Don't do that.
Sure.
Here's who Philip throws to. The other team.
It's
Don't
a different.
Do that.
It's a different thing. But listen, if you play back the preview, you were bang on about the Chargers. They were so good in close
Under.
games last year, and the needle went the other way this year.
Flip the coin the other way, and they lose all
and
those
they've
games.
lost a lot of those
The
games.
Bears are exactly the same.
And that's not fine. But the other part of it is everything that you said that everyone knows will happen with Phillip Rivers when his offensive line deteriorated has happened, and then everyone acts surprised if Phillip Rivers is bad.
Well, a good coach would figure out how to get around that.
Oh my God, we don't scheme anything.
I give Mike Tomlin a lot of shit because I don't think he's a good coach, but he's done a magnificent
we
job
don't
this year
scheme.
of understanding that you have a good defense and a shitty offense, and we'll just play to those strengths. You have to figure something out. What you're doing is not working.
We don't scheme
Figure
anything.
something. Yeah,
We
so
don't-
Anthony Lynn should be fired.
We don't call fucking plays. Sorry, we don't scheme anything. We just call fucking plays.
then how
And
is
it
he
drives me
not
nuts.
fired?
I'm not telling you he shouldn't be fired.
You're telling me he
I
won't
am
be.
just telling you he won't be.
Then
That
that's a
doesn't mean
bad
I
organ.
agree.
You deserve to lose.
This
They
is
are
what-
a bad organ. Oh, here you're gonna
He's on
sit
the
here in
message board.
2019 and like break news. It's a bad organization. They're only not the Browns and the Lions and the Bills because they live in California and no one gives a shit.
Jets as well. Put the Jets in that bucket.
You know what I'm saying?
bring back
I'm just saying when people like have those big overarching discussions about like horrible franchises, they seem to get omitted from it because they're not like Northeast passion. You know, that sort of drives a lot of the angst. I live in the Northeast and I feel it, my angst. But no, they're not. In my opinion, from what I read, there hasn't been and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you, do not expect him to be fired. There hasn't been a single indication of it. And unfortunately, as I said to you off air, well, fortunately or fortunately, neither word needs to go in front of this, but sometimes good men don't make good coaches.
What if they film Hidden Figures 2 and he can't be there for the season? I mean, Octavia can get herself another Best Supporting Actress nomination with that.
I don't know. Did you see him working the parade on Thanksgiving?
No.
No,
I was
we
gonna
don't
make
all
an
go
Al-
on
I'll
our
make an
slash-
Al- I was trying to make a shitty Al Roker joke.
No, we don't all go on r/Chargers.
Why would I be watching a Thanksgiving Day parade? Football was on.
I know there were so many memes of like how he was on something. And I'm like, there's my coach talking to a stick of butter. No, if you like, not that you cared, if you like searched Al Roker and butter.
That'll come up. I'll do it after the show. So I'm taking Jacksonville. You three jabronis are taking the Chargers.
But they got to invest everything. They got to mortgage next year's
Well,
draft.
they won't because they're a bad organization. You just told me that.
No, but you
They'll
don't think.
make the most suboptimal move possible.
No, but even the bad organization. Listen,
they'll give Melvin
hold on
Gordon
a
the
second.
Le'Veon Bell contract,
But-
and then they'll trade for Le'Veon Bell as well.
even these bad organizations that we speak of have invested so much draft capital into quarterback. I mean, look at the draft capital the Browns have invested. Look at the draft capital the Bills have invested.
Yeah, or you could
Look at the draft.
what the
Lossman,
Jets did, and then you
Manuel.
have some guy who has a better
they're now-
chance of winning diabetes than getting to the Pro Bowl.
You know, so the Chargers, it's their time. They have to invest that draft capital. And they can't win these games because they have to finish as low as possible and then trade to get even lower, Pat.
Someone pointed out to me that you are just as sad as Tim.
No. I didn't
Just in a
flip-flop.
different way.
No, I didn't flip-flop on
No,
the
but
clip.
just your overall.
No.
You're like your overall.
I saw this
delusion.
comment and it's wrong. I'll tell you why. This was related to like Fienberg says the Chargers play with heart. He's an idiot. He's no different than Tim. The Chargers don't get their ass kicked. They don't have this 5-minute blip of like Jaguars football where they're all of a sudden down 21. They just fucking suck and they blow it and they don't execute. If they packed it in, they'd be getting their ass kicked. So I don't think I was wrong about that. And I don't have this litany of roller coaster. I tell you when it's fucking over, and it's over. And I don't get Juan back because I'm not wrong. This guy's like, we're in it. We're not in it. We're in it. I'm never talking about it again. I'm not predicting playoffs. We're making the playoffs in 2020. We're Super Bowl contender in 2020. I don't do that. Did I have a right to be excited about the Chargers going into the year with a 12-4 team that won a playoff game that looked like everything was like kind of incrementally going up?
He told you that they were going to win the Super Bowl. That should have been your first fucking indication.
Well, I can't not have my excitement, even though he killed me. So I completely disagree with that. I am exponentially more on the ball.
Tim?
Hey. That's all I have to say.
I don't doubt for a second how unmitigated a disaster this goddamn season was.
No,
Yeah, but
Geoff and I are like
Where
the
we
twins.
were in the chart of where we were supposed to be with where players are on this roster, it's as bad as anyone in football. Pat,
Are you saying that it's not as bad as it could be?
we didn't lose to 2-0-7 teams, but we are
Exactly what I said.
But we are the team. We are the teams that he is speaking of, and it's not done for the Eagles. But we had a roster, we had a team, and we really fucked up. And there's nothing. My point being, in the progression, like next year, let's say they had a rookie quarterback, right? And they lost all these games within a touchdown. I'd be like, we're in all these games. Like, this is a good sign.
You've
This is
already
a
made
good
this
thing.
point.
No, but that's my point. There's nothing positive about these losses. There's no growing experience about these losses. We're supposed to be so goddamn far past that stuff. And I'm not this guy that makes excuses and every week flip-flops about what's going to happen.
I don't live in
And
the
I
team.
wish they had. I wish they quit. I wish they quit. But they don't. And I'm not wrong about that. And you see it in the final scores every week. You see which teams quit. You do. Even for moments at a time, you see which teams quit. You can make all the jokes you want about the Chargers. They're just not allowed to. There's just something in there. They suck. They'll fuck up in other ways, but there's a no quit.
I think they've quit on Phillip Rivers.
Maybe.
They don't like him.
That's-
They don't like him yelling at them. Yeah, I wouldn't like it either.
Firstly, he doesn't yell at anybody.
He yells at everyone.
You're just now saying ridiculous things. Find me one single documented piece of any player that's been a long time. It's been a lot of years. Name anyone that's had a negative word to say about him.
Well, maybe he's like a secret psychopath.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't doubt that.
If he's going to like yell at them there, what's he going to do off the field? If he does that with the cameras on, wait till the cameras are off.
No.
Can't
Did you
say
see?
No one really even says anything. People are like, fuck, thank God. I'm
Did
not
you
playing for the
see I
Chargers
had
anymore.
an interaction with Jacob Hester?
No. Why?
Well, yesterday I tweeted that when Seattle ran that amazing fake,
Yeah.
and we've been doing this show for years, we have not run a single one since we've been in the booth, and it probably goes 4 years past that. And I pointed out, like, this is it. Lynn, McCoy, the last fake we ran was a failed Jacob Hester in 2010. I didn't at Jacob Hester. I wake up this morning, Jacob Hester's in my DMs to tell me about these fakes. So like you, if you sent me a text, yo, Fienberg, what do you think about like the Chargers run defense this week? Oh boy, you're not getting like a one-word answer. We are now in. So I buttered Jacob up with a little Go Tigers, LSU, and then I hit him. And he's been gone for a bit, so I got a wide-ranging topics. Phillip Rivers, Spanos family, things he could speak to. He can't speak to Anthony Lynn or, right? A lot of this stuff. Phillip Rivers is a fucking god.
That's
So
what
you
I
gotta
hear.
know.
I don't think people like him. That's just what I'm getting at it. Career loser. No one likes him.
I'm not even playing this game. I know you don't. I know. I'm not
Doing
even playing the
you
game.
What he does to me.
It
Don't
sucks
answer.
that this is how it's going, but I'm not playing that game. And I think 100% getting 2-0 would be cool. And I don't think you would have a choice but to. Would you do Tua and Tyrod? Like you'd rather. I don't know.
Tim, it's week 14. Are you finally going to apologize to Geoff for what you did to him this year?
No, I feel
Been
no
harping
response.
on this all season.
I
No,
lost
I
so much fucking money on the Bronco game, and I don't even care about the money.
No.
Like I didn't have to elephant tranquilize myself. That happens when I care. Because I really thought they were gonna show up, and the ending was horseshit. Like that was bullshit. That was bullshit. They had to get to 60 minutes. The YouTube lady was on.
That'd be more entertaining than watching that awful game.
You were watching an exponentially worse game.
No, that game had Mahomes. He's good. It had Gruden. He was making faces on the sideline.
Well, are we there yet? Because I like Oakland.
No, we're not. We're at Pittsburgh at Arizona.
You didn't answer the question.
What?
What should they do?
Fold. Move to London. Then you'll attract.
Other than that, quarterback.
Move to London.
Quarterback.
You have to draft.
Next year.
You have to draft a quarterback.
So who's
high.
there with it? Did you just say, Phil? It's better if you're not here for this.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the question.
Go to the booth. You can be Chargers radio
See,
play-by-play
I don't
guy.
think he'll go any. He wouldn't even move 90 minutes. People think he's going to move cross country or something.
What do you mean?
He wouldn't even move to LA.
Yeah, well, you move back home. That would be across the country.
What is home?
Where he's from, I'm guessing.
Ryan Tannehill's playing too good. There's no home. Home's not available.
No, I mean,
anymore.
like, he's not playing in the league next year. He retires.
Oh, that's cool. But I think he would stay and coach up the kids. And yeah, let's get in the booth. It'd be like, as I joked last week.
I
like
mean, in the booth. No, I mean in the booth being like a broadcaster.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not being like the offensive coordinator.
No.
I don't think he knows much about offensive coordinator.
No. I think he
Not
can,
real coordinator.
No.
So how can you do
And
it?
I think, yeah, he's like can motivate like Pop Warner and the high school kids
Yeah.
when his kids are playing. But yeah, like I joked with you last week, get in that booth. I get to reunite with you once a week, just like you and your dad.
I got to cut like 15 minutes out of this conversation. Way too long. Is that it for the Chargers this year? No more talk about them?
Yeah, I got nothing to say. It's over.
Okay.
Lose all the games. Last place schedule, draft capital.
Steelers at Arizona. Arizona, 3-point dogs at home. 43.5 is the over-under. This is a Super Bowl revenge game. Right, Tim?
It certainly is. And
I like-
we're going to take the
I like
Steelers.
it. I like Arizona.
I liked the Arizona in a very similar spot last week at home, getting 3 points against a team that I thought was probably not playing as well as it should be, and it is a little less talent rich than I thought they were. And the Rams destroyed them. I'm not making the same mistake twice. I'll take the Steelers.
Pittsburgh's D is legit. Their offense sucks. And that is really the difference between the Rams and Pittsburgh at this point. I think Arizona may struggle to move the ball, but they have enough speed to get them once or twice. And I think that Arizona's defense is capable enough of, not giving up. Like, the Steelers is going to score 17 points every week and win, maybe.
It's enough to beat the Rams, who then turn around and beat Arizona by 1 million. So, just saying.
I think that the Rams are a bit more geared to beat up on a defense like Arizona. They can take advantage of that on offense, where they, against a really good defense like the Steelers, they can't run the same sort of offense that they want to run.
Yeah, I know. But the Steelers have got to have the game. So, I think
Yeah, and the Steelers won. I think the Steelers lose. So, I'm taking Arizona +3.
I can't hear a word he's saying.
Well, who are you taking? Just answer that.
Arizona.
Any reason? Because Tim's taking the Rams or Tim's taking the Steelers? It goes in your ear.
I understand that, but I thought. I don't know. Did he even apologize? I don't know when I lost him.
No, he didn't apologize.
No, I have nothing to apologize for.
Okay, I got him.
You got him back?
I think so.
Okay. Tennessee at Oakland. You said you have a hot take on this game?
I just said like Oakland gets off the mat. They've just
Oakland's a 2.5-point dog at home. 47 is the over-under.
Tennessee, they are freight train. They're blowing teams off the field. I just think that's gotta give.
Yeah,
The Titans are a steamroller, and they're rolling over opponents. Oakland is in their way. They're going to get flattened. I like the
How
Titans.
about the University of Miami Dolphins and the development that they've done with some players? Ryan Tannehill, Devontae Parker, getting them ready for pro football.
getting them ready for their next team. I'm going to take Oakland in this game too. I just home dog.
Spot.
And
It seems like the world is now like
Tennessee's really good.
Yeah.
And
Oakland's garbage.
And we always talk about Tennessee beats like finesse teams. Oakland, not a finesse team. They're
No.
actually kind of constructed very similarly.
They that offensive line is great. They will keep it going. Carr sucks.
Yeah, that's not good. How many more home games does Oakland have?
One more next week. That's it.
And that's it?
No.
Who do they play next week? The Broncos?
No, it's someone in the NFC, and I was really annoyed by it. Who the heck is it?
We play the NFC North. That's our division crossover.
Yeah, it might be the Bears. No,
No,
it can't be
They
the Bears.
played the Lions.
They played the Bears. Have they played the Packers?
Have they played
Maybe
the
it's not the
Vikings?
NFC then. It's some weird team then. Let me look it up. It's not like a traditional rival, which really it's Jacksonville. That's who it is.
Saxonville.
I don't like
That's
that.
a weird
but
way
yeah.
to end that stadium.
Yeah, it is. That's bad.
So get a big win here as underdogs. Come out on top. Show the fans what's what. Seattle at the Rams. The Rams are now 1-point underdogs against the Seahawks. Over-unders 48 coming off the Monday night game.
Oh, the 1 week I get off the Rams, they win. So we're going to get right back on the train.
You're taking the Rams, really?
Yeah, I'll take the Rams. I mean, listen, the Rams would have won the last time these two teams played up in Seattle.
But didn't.
Had a miraculous catch at the end of the game to seal it for Seattle. Two very evenly matched teams. I think, Vegas thinks so too. They're pretty evenly matched. Seahawks are better, but I don't know. Rams, I think, listen, Seattle had to play late. The Rams did not have to play late. These are two pretty evenly matched teams. I think the world loves Seattle. The world's still not convinced about the Rams. I think there's value on the Rams. Now, famous last words. I said this against Baltimore too. But I'm going to play the Rams.
I'm going to play Seattle. Anytime that you can get Seattle at basically under 3, take Seattle. Because all they do is play close games.
Good teams, in my opinion, have shown the Rams how bad they are all year. Right?
Yeah, basically.
Except for Seattle, who was
I hate betting the team off like the Monday night win, then going in division. But I think the Rams are so flawed that Seattle.
What if it just
is in a
comes
great
down to
spot.
something as simple as Russell
That's
Wilson
my
versus
point.
Jared Goff?
Russell Wilson said something that aired maybe 5 minutes before the game last night. It wasn't like a live interview, or maybe it was even the like Lisa Salters quoting him. But he's like, every game, he kind of made a comment like, when we're coming at you, it's like we see it in the other team. They know they're done. Like they know the magic man is like here and they're screwed. That obviously wasn't his quote because he's very nerdy and wouldn't say something that cool.
Remember when he had water that cured concussions? Everyone kind of forgets about that.
Love him.
He was also in the Entourage movie.
So the nicest deep ball in the game. Not the longest.
No, I'm trying to think. His deep ball is good because he runs around in the backfield and creates time for guys to get wide open and then hits them like 20 seconds into a play and like, oh, that guy's just wide open downfield. But
I
yes,
still think Rodgers throws a nicer deep ball, but
Yeah.
I think you're.
I would put them, that Rodgers would be the one guy that,
I mean, no one throws a prettier looking deep ball than Josh Allen. It just goes to no one.
Yeah.
It's the one spot where he's really regressed. Deep passes. The intermediate
Well, I
passing
said-
has been really good. The deep passing has been horrendous.
I hate to pick against Seattle in this game. It really bothers me. But I also
Define
hate
how-
picking against the Rams. So
how deep is intermediate when you like say that?
I would say like 15 to 30 yards or even 10 to 25 yards, that sort of range.
'Cause
Josh
I know
Allen
a couple
has
weeks ago-
wildly improved.
As of a couple weeks ago, he was far and away the worst quarterback completion percentage on passes over 10 yards.
But a lot of that, no. On passes over 10 yards, that is untrue.
This is a couple weeks ago. We spoke about it.
On passes over 30 yards, he was worse in the league. But the intermediate passing has been really good. Like I believe his completion percentage is up like 15%.
Well,
from
this
last
was
year.
like before his best like 3 games of the year too.
But even throughout the course of the season, the intermediate passing has been good.
Balls that travel in the air over 10 yards, he had a very low completion percentage.
Isn't he like 65% for the year? Something like that? 62%? Up from 48 last year. I don't think that's
A lot
true.
of short.
I would like to see
I'll
that stat.
find the tweet.
I would like to see that stat. I'm curious of what the actual yardage is on that because that would frankly surprise me. Monday night, Giants at Philly. Philly favored by 8.5 at home. 47's the over/under. How much money are we betting on the Giants?
none. The Eagles are the last part of the money line parlay. Love the Eagles in this matchup. People are, have been burned by the Eagles week after week. Don't seem to appreciate the Giants are every bit as bad as the Bengals, every bit as bad as it's the worst team in football. The Giants could very well, have a chance to have the first pick overall because they don't have they have the tie break, so to speak, over the Bengals. So the Giants have every opportunity to get that first pick overall, and they're on their way. In some ways, I love the Eagles in this game. I think the Eagles win at 37-3. I just like that type of crushing type of oh, what an awful Monday night game type of game. Love the Eagles. Let's take them.
I'm going to take the Giants. Daniel Jones has played better on the road so far this season. If you can pick up a few first downs with his legs, then all of a sudden you're in business. And the Eagles, Geoff, just aren't that good.
I mean, they're
They could win this game. And
fortunate they still got that shot at the playoffs because that roster on paper
looks good.
looked awesome. But he didn't have a Super Bowl. That could have been a fireable offense like L.
Yeah, but he said that the Dolphins are good. They're a good team.
Listen, they are training that offense right now.
Is Flores the coach of the year?
He'd get votes from me.
I would vote for Tomlin, but
And it also goes to my points that I would die. I would fail and die failing hiring Belichick assistants. Still how I would try to find my coach.
Which side are you taking to the 8.5?
Eagles.
You're taking the Eagles, so I'm the only one taking the Giants? Barkley, breakout game. Let's have it.
No.
If we do coach of the year, I think Tom was in the discussion. I think Harbaugh probably is the coach of the year.
Frank Reich, Harbaugh, Tomlin.
Frank Reich isn't because Indy's faded. I know that's not a good way to look at it, but if we're actually talking about who can win, that's going to disqualify him.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan will get votes.
I think like Flores, Harbaugh would probably be my top two, then Shanahan. I also think Pete Carroll.
Tomlin's doing a lot more than those guys are. I'm sorry. Tomlin's got nothing over there, and that team is
that's not true.
unfathomable.
They have an awesome O-line, they have an awesome D-line, and a good defense.
Yeah, but their quarterbacks are nobodies, and they have no one at the running back position. Their best receiver's been out for huge amounts of games. They have spun straw into gold, and they're going to probably make the playoffs with that roster. He's the best coach, and I don't think Mike Tomlin is a very good in-game coach. He's been the coach of the year, I think, hands down. I would take him. Baltimore made the playoffs last year. Like Baltimore didn't make some big leap. They made a leap. They didn't make a massive leap, and they
did make a massive leap from last year.
Not really. So they went from winning 12 games last year and their division to probably winning 14 games this year and having a bye. Great. That's improvement. They have been the most fun and exciting team to watch. What Pittsburgh is doing with so few weapons is so impressive. I think it's got to be Tom.
No, he's just not that good of a coach. If he was all that much better, they would be better on offense. They really would. Their defense is exactly the same. Their defense is exactly the same as what it was last year, except for they're a little bit better because they got Minka Fitzpatrick.
I mean, I think what I'm saying is bulletproof. So go ahead.
It's not. Do you think Tomlin's going to win Coach of the Year?
No, he's not going to win.
Especially when they lose to Arizona this week.
I do think Tim makes a great point that I think there's just a perception that like Baltimore made the playoffs last year, and there is some perception that as a team they've done some great turnaround despite like Lamar's drastic improvements as an individual. And a lot of people like saw that Charger playoff game last year and thought like just shit was on tape for NFL coaches maybe.
Yeah, they went from being the team in the playoffs last year that everyone wanted to play to the team that no one wants to play. That's a significant improvement.
I agree. I'm just saying I do sort of see what Tim is saying from a perception standpoint. As a franchise, they probably haven't made as big of a step as like the public is perceiving.
Shanahan will probably win.
I don't think so.
He's taking a team that had the number 2 pick in the draft and probably going to win 13 or 14 games.
Sure. I still don't think that's going to happen. I told you my opinion. I think it's Sam. So
would you like to bet on it?
No, I don't know the odds. I would be doing that blindly. I'd like to look at the odds.
Well, make the odds. You mean no. You just gave someone 7-1 for someone to beat someone this week, which was ludicrous.
I am not taking any bet.
No, I'm letting you set the fucking line.
Don't care. Not doing it. Will not be bullied. Sorry.
I'm giving it to you to set the line.
He's a pretty bad negotiator. You're like, here, win this trade, win this deal. We're going into this negotiation. I'm going to let you win it. Now let's find out how much you're going to win the negotiation by.
Nope, not going to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, never bring Tim to the car lot with you. Well, that price seems too low. I'll pay more. Superlocks for the week. Tim, you won last week, so you are up first. You're taking New England -3?
Yep.
I'm going to take Broncos +9.5.
Saints
-2.5? So, In order for his free money, this is going to be a parlay this week, not a teaser. Tim has decided to play it safe by playing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team money line parlay.
Unbelievable.
But none of these teams are going to lose, so it is safe. Packers, Vikings, Jets, Eagles, Patriots, Ravens.
You should probably bet the money line on all those like over 200s.
And what does that pay? That only pays 4 to 1?
Yeah, just a touch over 4 to 1.
What a painful parlay.
You
Like, I'm not saying it's going to win or lose, but
you
like,
love
what
San Francisco this week. You love the Patriots this week. Just parlay those two money lines together if you want to play a parlay. And it's what? That'll be what? Plus 275 or something?
See, here's the thing. Tim doesn't think these games can lose, Pat. He's going to be sweating one or two of these.
What about the Jets game? You don't think he's going to be sweating that one right out of the gate?
Football Sunday math tells us you're sweating like half these games because it's football.
But he told us there was no way Carolina could lose last week. That was fun. I'm just actually trying to see what that is. So where is it here? So the Niners and Patriots. Yeah, play plus 273. And that's only 2 games you need to win. And they're the 2 most confident games you have on the board.
You know what? I'll make 2 then. I'll make that as a second one.
There you
Whatever.
go.
Let's have 2 on there.
So San Francisco plus New England money line pays plus 273.
Boom. Didn't get 2 on Thanksgiving week. I'll get 2 this week. It's going to be a December to remember.
I like that I talked him into that. Yes, Paul.
What does the anti-Cust money line parlay? It must be like nuclear. It must be like 1,000 to 1 or something.
Oh, what? If you just play Saints and
everybody that Tim
if you
did not
played
pick.
like the Bronco.
Oh God.
The Redskins.
I mean, somebody's getting through, I guess, right? Like,
yeah, he's not going to lose all the games.
Yeah, Bills, Redskins. Oh my God,
Bills are winning.
You just think the Bills are going to win? So you would have the Bills,
the Dolphins, just Bills, Dolphins.
the Skins.
You don't even have to.
The Broncos.
Pat, you don't even have to step in front of those.
Paul asked me what the anti-Cust would pay, so I'm going to fucking look at it. Jesus Christ.
It's not winning.
He asked me what it would pay. I'm going to take a look at it. Okay? Is that okay with you?
It's perfectly fine.
Chiefs.
Apologies.
Green Bay, and he has, let's see, Philadelphia, so the Giants as well. It pays 3,556 to 1.
All right. Now just give me it
throw a buck on
without
it.
having to step in front of the double-digit spreads.
So take off the Lions and take off, who's the other one?
The Redskins.
The Redskins. It pays 94 to 1.
That I could get Dolphins, Bills, well AFC East with.
That would give you Dolphins, Bills, Chiefs, and Giants. I'm going to play that right now.
Yeah, see, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt Paul's request, but I'm saying that's the one. You got to get rid of those huge ones.
$10 pays $38. Let's play it. I hope it wins. That'd be great. Thanks, Tim, in advance for a winner.
All right.
That'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. We kept this for 16 games. I think we did pretty good. As long as a normal show. Paul, I want to thank from behind the camera. You can follow him on Twitter at Paul Shag. Jeffrey, thank you for being here.
I'm here.
It was fun to troll you about the Chargers.
I'm just dead inside. I'm not going to be like that.
No, you were getting all fired up.
Well, because I
getting
know.
very Tim-esque. You guys are like brothers.
You could Photoshop the photo of the 2 twins from The Shining between me and Geoff, and then that could be it.
I wish we could combine our rosters. Because I'd take his quarterback.
You still wouldn't have a quarterback.
Then you wouldn't have a second favorite team.
Maybe the
left,
Jets want to
Jeff.
move on. And
Jeff
they'll trade
Favors,
Darnold back to LA for his USC fans.
I don't think people at USC are like super big fans of Sam Darnold. I'm not going to lie to you.
I disagree.
He won them so much when he was there. He was so good.
I can't defend him, but he got a bad deal there. He hasn't had a real coach in his life. This is Tim's job. I'm not defending that. I did defend
What
it.
is with the two of you and the excuses? I just don't get it. Like, can't you just say the guy's bad? I don't
No,
understand that.
good.
Darnold?
Yeah.
I don't think he's bad.
But every week you have to come up with a new excuse of why he's bad.
I don't make excuses.
You were just saying, he's never had a real coach. Shouldn't he just be better?
Hold on.
He's
hold on.
so young.
Hold on.
He is young. He's only 20.
I've used the
Muffin.
exact same. It's not like I'm
He's
changing.
still young enough to go trick or treating.
I'm not changing the goalposts. I said from day one, this guy's never had a real coach. I've said from day one that to me, I've seen enough with how young he is. I've seen enough in his ceiling plays that there's absolutely worth investing time and organizational, like everything, weight behind this guy, this kid.
Well, he can't do anything with what Tim called the best receiving core in the league. Remember that? The bomb squad.
I can't believe we had to waste time in the summer, like ranking receiving cores to. When he was clearly.
Robbie Anderson is a top 5 receiver in football.
He's going to eat his way out of this league.
He is. If he goes to Tim's Christmas party, he definitely will. He's going to sit at home just eating no chips, just Ruffles dip right into his
I can
mouth.
see Tim just having like a box of Triscuits and like the canned cheese.
Oh.
And
Like the stuff Johnny Miller eats during golf.
yeah.
So gross. Anyway, you can follow Geoff on Twitter at gfienberg17. I want to thank the coin for being here. Hopefully it has better picks than last week. And of course, I always have to thank Tim Cust.
Tim and Cust.
That's not my name. At Tim Anderson 87, I bring the funny.
Do you have a question or are you just playing with your hair?
Well, Tim told me that Norvell was getting the coaching job.
I just saw that he's the assistant head coach and that it's Perry Fuel who's the head
Yeah,
coach.
they gave it to another guy.
Perry Fuel, former Bills head coach.
Yeah, it's true.
Acting head coach.
What's that? Yeah, acting head coach. He's fueling them up. He was so bad.
That's a diss to Norv.
Yeah,
And
Norvell.
Norv is the assistant head coach, which means he's not head coach.
You can check out the cheat sheet up on my Facebook page. I forgot to post it last week, but it was up on dkplaybook.com. All my stuff legitimately appears on that website if you ever do want to check it out. Or you can just listen to the show and hear who we... Well, I don't know why you would want to hear who we pick anyway. Honest to God. Who cares?
Flip your own coin.
Yeah, flip your own coin. Make sure it doesn't watch the games, though. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, I talked about the time codes, the Cust Corner Christmas topics, and if you like the episode, leave your DraftKings handle and tell me your favorite spread or total. You're in the draw for 20 DK bucks. If you want to get into a draw for 60 DK dollars, subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, leave a 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show, in the draw for 60 DK bucks playing the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League. Link is in the description of this video and podcast. Thanks for making it through 2 hours with us. I hope we killed 40% of your workday, all right? Good luck in week 14. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience.
Tim didn't have a SIG this episode. Good for him.
5-hour workday.
Yeah, people take like lunch.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, folks. We shall see you later.
See ya.
So Saturday. What time?
I don't know. I got to coordinate with Gary and Paul, but I just want to make sure that before I ask anyone that you were available.
I am indeed.
Okay, cool.
All right. See you guys. See you,
See ya.
Geoff.
Later.
Bye, Tim.
Bye. Leave.
Leave meeting.
That's the best.
That is
That is the best. Every episode he does that. I actually left the record going just for that.
Experience.